Oh, that is a nice copper coin. But oh, Doug, do you know what time it is?
45 up.
Who says 45 of, Doug? It's quarter after. Who says 45 after? Whatever the heck Doug said. It was really funny. What's up, guys? Hoarder here. Man, I got a fun show today. It should be exciting. I'm working with this new microphone. People said last week it was popping. So I dug down deep into the pockets and got this little setup here. Hopefully it sounds nice and crisp. I got all the guys backstage. I'm going to bring them in 1 second. And I'm going to say hello to a few people in the chat real quick. I see Prairie Pirate, Larry Karush, Lydia Kleisen. I'm sorry I messed it up. Team Lynch is here. Wicked Digger, one of my moderators. Karen, KK Karen is here, digging up the Carolinas. Dress your life up. Amanda Digger de Gaz is here. John Ramoska, buddy, I just saw down at the event. I got a super chat from Akron. Thank you. That's going to go to the next microphone fund. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Rich Van Winkle. Well, Rich Van Winkle's there. He's going to be on the second. Hollywood Joe Metal Detecting. Again, one of my moderators. Thank you, guys. Land Pirates, Workman's Adventures, Jake K. It goes on and on and on. I'll come back to the chat in a second. I did want to say, before I bring everybody on, this past weekend was the weekend that we divided and conquered at two different events. Doug and I went to Missouri to the Show Me Pro-Am event, while Rich and Charlie went to the Come Out Swinging event. I can't really speak on the Come Out Swinging event, but the Show Me event, we are going to do an exclusive live stream next Thursday, out of order, an extra one. It'll be at least just me and Doug. I'm going to bring some of the vendors on that were at the event, hopefully the hosts, some of the participants I might reach out to, and we're going to talk about the event. It was phenomenal, but it was so incredible. I don't want to cram it into this show. I'm still working on getting all the footage and reaching out to everybody. So next Thursday, there'll be an extra quarter after the live event. Man, what a good time it was. But let me bring in some of the gang who you should all know and hopefully love. And I'm going to start off with my main man, Charlie, the Heritage Relic Hunter. How are you, Charlie?
I'm doing great, Jason. Thank you so much. And
Charlie,
I'm glad you and Doug had a great time.
You look extra handsome, Charlie. Oh, and there was another super chat from Marcy M, who was also at the Show Me event. I don't want the show to keep drifting back and forth to the Show Me event because I have so much to talk about. I'm going to save it for next Thursday. I will tell a story or two. Oh, I see Ken King, Adventures in Dirt is in here. Anyway, I might touch a little bit on how the Come Out Swinging event went because I wasn't there. And I know you guys don't take nearly as many pictures and stuff as I do, and I don't blame you. So I might get a quick synopsis before Thursday. But Charlie may have been the greatest event I've ever been to. Wow. As far as finds, just there was an aura in the air where everybody was just so elated because so many cool things were found. And it was the first time the guy ever did the hunt. It was, I'm going to say, flawless, like very minor things that he's going to tweak for next year. He already set it up for next year, but it was fabulous.
Great.
But we'll get into it later. I don't want to go on and on. I see Ken Hurst is in the chat. Ken Hurst at the event. They gave me this book. If you can see this book, Charlie, Ken Hurst and Carol gave me this book. If you remember a few weeks ago, I did that little skit in the video with Bette Midler. Yes. And she was like singing a song. So they brought me this this signed Bette Midler book. I get the strangest gifts at these events, but I love it. So thank you. I got gifts for you and Rich too, Charlie. People were giving gifts for the whole gang. So when I see you this weekend,
I'm excited to find out what they are.
Oh my goodness. It was phenomenal.
Nice.
Talking about Rich, let me bring in Rich Van Winkle and Lynn, who now has a nickname
Oh.
Now, people were complaining that it wasn't in the Tuesday video, and that's because the videos haven't caught up yet. Don't forget, the videos are a little bit behind because, the show goes on forever. So I got to have a little bit of a cushion. So it's coming. I don't want to announce it here because I think it's great. And I want to actually buy Lynn like a little outfit for the picture because there's a picture, there's a certain pose I need.
Yeah.
A little outfit sounds a little bit.
It's not risque or anything. It's just like an outfit that goes with the nickname, maybe for a sticker or something. I think you're going to like it.
Anyway, hi, everybody.
So I'm going to bring in. I want to say also I saw the Bandit in the chat who we saw at the Missouri Hunt. Hot Mess Fishing, who I met there, who was awesome. I really had a good time hanging out with her. Greetings from New York. Again, Ken, I got Adventures in Dirt. Victor Schultz, FLX Detectorist. Rich, you were just talking about FLX Detectorist, weren't you?
I was just literally right now, too. I noticed he was in the chat. And
what were you telling me about? You were telling me a story about him.
He won the pinpointer.
Oh, that's right. It come out swinging. Yeah. I was getting the highlights from Rich. So, he was telling about it. So congratulations, FLX Detector. Scott Cash is in the chat. He was also at the event. We'll get into that more next week, but him and his family treated Doug and I like gold, Rich. We were at their tent all day hanging out. His wife made food. His son was carting Doug all over the grounds like he was the king of England. You know what I mean? Like wherever Doug wanted to go, his son had him in this tractor.
Sounds like I should come to that event next year.
It was so much fun. But the whole Cash family were incredible. I'm going to see if they'll pop on next Thursday as well. So, of course, let me bring him in, the last of my Mohicans tonight. Dog Tag Doug, Mexican Doug, Jane Fon Doug. How are you, Dougie?
Hey, how's it going, everyone?
Doug, I love how the light is right behind your head. It makes you look like an angel.
Yeah, I know. That's my halo.
You're like an eclipse. You're like the eclipse of the room.
Yeah, watch.
Rich, Doug and I were on our way home. We flew right through the eclipse. As it was going, we threw right through that totalitarian line or whatever the word is.
Very good.
How was that? Did you get to see anything?
It was above us, and we were the plane was almost empty. So everybody in the plane had the whole row to themselves. So everybody was like laying on the floor and looking up and trying to see it. The pilot was giving us play-by-play because he could see it. And he actually apologized that he couldn't deviate course because then we'd be able to see it, but it was right at the nose.
Yeah, Jason wanted him to do a barrel roll.
Yeah, I asked the stewardess if she could ask the pilot if we could do a barrel roll real quick. I'm lucky to get kicked off the plane. You can't make jokes like that anymore.
You guys missed the earthquake.
Yeah.
Well, the earthquake happened when we were down there. I have a comment on later in the show about the earthquake. I mean,
we did have an aftershock here too the other day.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we're up in New Jersey. I mean, I can't remember. I think there was one earthquake in my life, and it was like a magnitude like wimpy something. It was nothing. But this was like almost a 5. It was like a 4.8 or something like that.
They said New Jersey wasn't even a state yet when they had one that was that strong before. It was over 200 years ago.
Wow. Oh, my goodness. Doug, do you remember that day? I don't even think Doug's listening.
Doug?
He's here, but he's not really here.
I know what caused that earth. Jersey.
You, Doug. I'm talking to you.
Sorry.
Oh, I didn't know you were talking to me.
Yeah, whenever I start a sentence with Doug, that means you're next. Like you're.
All right,
like,
say it again because I was
those
listening
words.
to that.
Yeah, that's why I usually yell out a name. That way, that person knows that the following words are reflection on them.
All right, let's go back and try it again.
No, you can only say a joke once. I'm
Jason.
going to start the show, Doug. We have our first, I'm going to say, guest on tonight. Now, I know we had Mitch and Robert on that were promoting their hunts, but I'm bringing on tonight a special guest who I hope everybody's going to love. I know I love the person. Yes. Now, I told Rich and Doug who it is already. I did not tell Charlie. So before the guest comes on, I'm going to give Charlie some clues and see if you can guess who it is, Charlie. So I'm hoping Doug and Rich don't accidentally spill the beans before.
I'm not going to say a word.
They come on.
As a matter of fact, I'm ignoring you now.
The special guest is coming on at 8:00 sharp, and they're going to hang with us for at least 20 minutes. Maybe they'll play the Guess Lynn's Thing game along with us. We'll see how it goes, but I'm excited because I want to bring more guests on, but I wanted to have a proper mic, and I want to try to figure out how I'm going to flow with the guests. Doug and I have been reaching out to some people outside of the detecting world to try to get some guests. I reached out to a Hollywood actress in hopes maybe I'll get lucky. Doug reached out to some famous book author. I mean, we're going to shoot just like a door knock, Rich. We're going to shoot for the stars. And if they say no, what do I got to lose? You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So far, I'm doing
week,
better at door knocking.
Yeah. So next week, I'm going to have Pope Benedict on.
Any relation to eggs?
No, he didn't return my email.
Charlie's
we're going to have some fun things on. Oh, I see Clem Fandango is in the chat.
Yeah.
I heard that Clem Fandango is in America this week. He's up in New Hampshire. They actually came over with Turd Ferguson. Yes. So Clem and Turd, who are staples of the live stream, are both in New Hampshire. Welcome to America, my friend.
Oh, there's John Tennyson.
In the chat?
Yes. By the way, I didn't wear a hat because I know Ken King is in the chat tonight. I wanted to look as good as he does without a hat.
Okay. I like it.
Am I pulling it off?
If I knew you were going to wear a hat, I would have drew something on your head so I could look at it. Yeah. Like I would have put some of the show notes so I can remember instead of having to look off to the side.
And I see Rachel Johnson, who is in the chat. She said, hi, Doug, and I say hi back. But she won the raffle.
Oh, she was also at the Show Me Hunt.
Oh, yeah, and she won the raffle.
All right, well, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the people we met, I'd like to say we've met some friends for life down there, Doug.
Yeah.
Show Me Treasure. We met Show Me Treasure down there. Ultimate Finds Box. Eric is in the chat. He actually is sponsoring the giveaway tonight for the Guess Lynn's Thing game. He has a new product, at least a new product to my eyes, that I'm using as of Saturday when I realized it. He's going to give that away. We'll get into that later as well. So it's an action-packed show tonight, Doug.
This outfit that you have for Lynn, will that have any implication on guessing her thing?
I don't like to give away any spoilers, so I'm not going to say. All right, let me see if I can get this on the first click. I always mess this up. Are you ready, Doug?
Okay.
Let's see. Nope, I messed it up. I wanted that. There we go.
Fingers.
I'm still trying to figure out the buttons.
Okay.
But I'm going to start the show because this is what the show is about. You know, quarter after is supposed to be an after show. You see how my voice goes up an octave when I say that? After show.
I thought you had tight underwear on. So.
I don't have any underwear on. That's the beauty of it. That's why the camera's only from here up. But that's the beauty of the show. And this quarter after is going to cover the last 2 weeks of videos, which I might go out on a limb, Doug, and say some of the greatest finds we've had in years were combined into these last 2 weeks. What do you think of that statement?
Yes. It could have been the Charlie Harley show, actually.
Talking about Ken King, I saw Charlie's one find, which I don't want to ruin in case they want to watch it in the next half an hour, made Ken King's show. So congratulations to Mr. Harley.
Yes, Charlie.
I think it was 2 weeks in a row, wasn't it?
It could have been. Listen, guys, we've been having a heck of a year, and you know, I can't complain. And thank you for Ken for noticing. You know, Charlie's been the man this year. It seems like every year there's a new person that kind of just, you know, finds the lion's share. And Charlie was due. So I'm glad this year is starting off, you know, the year of the Charlie. It's like the Chinese year of the Charlie.
Yeah.
I was in a slump last year this time, so.
Yeah, remember last year when I did the best of, like you only had one find in the whole best of show.
Yeah.
And this year you've probably got 5 of the top 7 spots already. They might not be beat it's only April. I don't know if they're going to get beat.
It's going to be tough.
The legend's doing it.
Yeah. And the best of show, it might be 7 days long. We'll see. We'll see come December when I start working on it. All right, so let's see here, Doug. I got my show notes up. We're going to start rolling along. I know I need 2 pairs of glasses on. I know it looks ridiculous when I watched it back, but I need this pair to see, and I need this pair because this pair just looks cool.
It says who?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm colorblind. I like the contrast, you know what I mean, of the color. Oh, 714 Metal Detecting sent me a super chat. Thank you. Thanks for all you do, guys. Thank you for watching. You know, I appreciate it. It's a fun thing that we do, and it really makes it special when people are, you know, commenting and enjoying it and joining us for things like that. It makes it, you know, that makes it so much more worthwhile. So thank you, everybody out there. All right, Dougie, you ready to start this shindig?
Yes.
All right. Now, if you didn't know, we were back at I'm calling it the Cobb Field. I had a person ask me, why do we call it the Cobb Field? They thought there was corn there. And we call it the Cobb Field because we found 4 silver hammered cobs. A cob is a misshapen hammered coin made of silver from the 1600s. That's why we call it the Cobb Field. All right, let's see what we got. I'm going to have to do a lot of pausing and stuff like that. Okay.
So
right,
that is called a menopause, right?
What?
You're in menopause, right?
Menopause?
Yeah, not menopause.
Oh, I see, because I was pausing it.
Yes.
Okay. I have to get my book out to interpret the joke sometime.
Yeah, I know.
Well, the first find of the day on this, probably our 12th trip to this farm field, even though we were in a new section of the field, was Charlie's incredible, I'm going to call it an octopus button. We found such a selection and variety of buttons at this field. I think we're almost at 300 buttons, Charlie, from this field.
Right.
And so many different ones. And this octopus button, you know, has like curved arms or something coming off of it. Was the very first find of the day. I thought it was an incredible piece.
You
Charlie,
know,
do you even know where that button is right now?
It's in my showcase.
Oh, okay. Okay. I didn't know if you knew.
Would you
You
drag
found so
the
much stuff
showcase
this year, I
into
don't
the
even know if
shot,
it
Charlie?
fits.
That was the company.
What's that?
I said, would you drag the showcase into the shot so everyone can appreciate it?
It's too heavy.
That showcase is getting heavy, Doug.
You're not kidding.
All right, let me see what we got. I saw Ram detecting, good dude, crazy digging, detecting finds. I'm going to pop back to the chat every once in a while. The next find was kind of cool. There's a little animation clip so people can see what it is as I go over my show notes.
Oh, that's a neat trick.
Well, hey, Doug, I don't mess around. This was Rich's first that I've ever seen cut in half musketball. We found a lot of another super chat. Joshua Sipes, that's the guy that makes our Vets Dig Beeps lanyards.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Thank you, Joshua. 2 people won last week. I did get their addresses. Joshua sent me confirmations that he sent them out. Hopefully they got them already. If not, they should be any day. But yeah, Rich got that cut in half a musketball, which I've never seen. We thought it was a game piece, but Jeffrey Edwards 5003 thinks that there may have been a roving band of samurai, and as the musketball whizzed by, they sliced it in half Matrix style. And that's an even cooler guess, so I'm going to go with it.
That is cool, but I will say I've been wanting to find a bullet or musketball that was carved into a game piece. That's definitely on my bucket list. So if that is one, I'm really happy about it. If it's just a half a musketball, it's not quite as cool. But
well, you know, I've never actually made a musketball because I wasn't alive back then. But I think the molds, you know, some molds are 2 pieces and you put them together and there's a hole in the top and you pour it in. So
right.
Technically, if it wasn't hard and you opened it up, you could have 2, you know, perfectly half circles. So I don't know if maybe something like that happened, or if they did form a full musketball and then they somehow worked it to make the half a musketball. I've just never seen one. I thought it was cool.
I have a pretty good guess how it happened.
What's your guess, Dougie?
My buddy Chris and I were out detecting today, and we found a bunch of golf balls that have been cut in half. I think what happened there is what happened here with this musketball. It was disked in half. And that's all they do anymore on these fields when they plant soybeans and corn. They disc them.
I don't know if the disc would slice a musketball in half, though.
Yeah.
I would think some of it would have mushroomed where the plow hit it. You know, I mean, it's so small.
It's not a plow. It's a disc.
Well, I'm saying it's still...
The reason
Charlie, is that a valid idea or what?
I could see a golf ball being split by a disc. I know what you're saying there, Doug. But that is that's perfectly in half. The odds of that happening, I don't know.
The only reason, Jason, can you show the flat side?
Yeah, let me go back.
The only reason I think it was
it's a perfect
cut by hand is I think that line. I think they may have made a small hole in it, and that's how they were able to cut it in half.
You know, like they put like a tiny little starter hole, and then
how with like a jigsaw you have to kind of start it. You can't just go right away.
Okay,
if you
like a starter hole.
What if I'm saying?
Okay, yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, they cut it in half a long time ago. Yeah, I mean, someone in the comments shout out. I think it went by already. Even the flat side that was cut is also the same white patina. So it was cut a long time ago. Yeah. So if it was cut by the disc, it wouldn't be the same white color. It would be darker because it didn't, soak up the moisture. At least that's in my brain,
Red color.
It didn't oxidize.
Right. Thank you, Rich. Thank you. All right, let's keep rolling, Doug. I didn't want to go on for an hour with the musketball, but it was a super cool find.
Wait, can you go back to the musketball?
We'll circle back. We'll circle back. The next one is this is another little video clip. This one I thought was really cool, Doug, because when I was editing the video, I was having a real hard time seeing it. Now there's an image in there. I can see it now, but I tried like 10 different editing techniques to bring it out. And I'm going to play the clip of the technique that worked. And then I kind of played it. I took like 3 hours just to do this one clip. That's how long these videos take. But here, I'm going to play it through and you'll see it kind of pop out. There. Can you see it clearly when I do that?
Yes.
So, I mean, something like that, 3 hours or so, but I was just so happy because then the average person who never metal detects, has no idea what any of these things are, they're able to appreciate it. Because if they just take my word, oh, there's a horse and rider in there, sure there is. It's like looking at the clouds and saying, oh, I see Snoopy, but Doug sees an abominable snowman. But yeah, that's hard to get. And then Emil Eve, how do you pronounce that name? Emil Voyer? Emil Voyer?
Emil Voyer.
Voyer? Okay.
Yes.
Looks like a night rider.
Emil the Voyer.
Yeah, it could be. I actually thought it looked maybe like, because the horse looks like he's like doing a fancy trot, I thought maybe it was like a what's the word? Like a military person, but like a what's the word, Doug? Like an officer.
Cavalry officer?
Yeah, like a cavalry officer doing a fancy horse riding maneuver.
Yeah. I see George Patton on one of his white stallions.
Okay. Did General Patton still ride a horse? I mean, we had tanks at that point.
Oh yeah, he was big into
So while the Germans were shooting tanks and airplanes at him, he was on a horse.
Yes. Using his 6-shooter.
He's got to come up with a better strategy. All right. So
hey,
but
that
was Joe's. And then there was a comment also, Bill Burke, Bill Burtke. I can't pronounce anything tonight. He said, Charlie's killing it, obviously. Rich had a nice day, but it was good to see Silver Joe back in the crew. I was just saying, how much I enjoy when Joe's there. He's a good dude, gets along with everybody. I wish he was available more often. But
he's fun. He's fun to be around.
Yeah, I like Joe a lot. So hopefully we'll be seeing him again soon. He's a good guy.
Real good guy. Yeah.
All right, what do we got next? All right. Oh, I got to watch the time, Doug. The guest is coming on precisely at 8, and I want to try to talk them up a little bit to Charlie. So, Rich, cue me in if it gets to like 5 of.
Okay.
All right, the next one. Oh, this is another button. And Digging Up the Carolinas left this comment, who I saw Digging Up the Carolinas in the chat.
Yes.
I thought it looked like a waves, this button that Doug found. Doug thought it looked like a flag.
No, I said it was a oscilloscope.
You thought it was a silly scope. I must have had 100 comments about that Mr. Wizard guy, whatever you said his name was.
Yeah, the AT&T logo. Do you think they were around back then?
But she said, Digging Up the Carolinas said it looked like a fingerprint, which it kind of does look like a fingerprint, sort of, kind of.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it is. All I know is it was a cool looking button, and look at the shank on it. I put the picture up side by side because that shank was beautiful, straight up and down, nice little concave to the back. Yeah. I thought it was an awesome button. Shape. Doug kind of had a slow day, but he got a couple of really nice pieces, and I thought this was one of them. Let's move it on, Dougie.
Yep.
Oh, and then there was a comment also on your button, Doug. He thought it was a great button, but he wanted to know about the button directory that we talk about sometimes. So I put a picture in here. That's the one I use a lot. Let me get rid of that.
Right.
The Record of American Uniform and Historical Buttons by Alpheus Albert. I think it's the Bible of old buttons. Yeah. Now, it doesn't really cover civilian buttons, and I think the button Doug found was civilian. But it covers military buttons. It covers a lot of institution buttons, schools, anything like that. From maybe the mid 1700s up till like maybe the early 1900s. I think the book's been out of print for like 45 years, so they're hard to find. And if you do see one online,
they're very expensive.
Expensive. I mean, you're going to probably pay over $100 for the book, but it's priceless.
Could I say something about the buttons that every one of us that have hunted this field has found out firsthand? These are some. Altogether, we what did we get? Over 300 buttons there, Jay?
Almost. I think we're at like 387 or something. I had the number. I don't remember.
Granted, a lot of them were simple flat buttons, collar buttons, wrist buttons, whatever. But we found so many ornate buttons in that field. We haven't found that many anywhere else that we've ever hunted that were really gorgeous.
Well, we've said it's the best field we've ever hunted on, that I remember. And we've hunted some doozies over the years, but it was, between the buttons, the coins, all of the gold, the Romans. I mean, where does it end? And we still have more videos coming up. There's another really good one coming up with KK, who's in the chat. There's another good one coming up with Joe, who was one of the moderators. Underground Buddha, Bobby, another moderator, joined us. What's up, Bobby? Thank you.
I bet you we each found at least 50 buttons there.
Oh, easily. I don't even film buttons anymore. They're only seeing the buttons that I thought were like extraordinary.
And
most of the buttons we found are plain flat buttons.
1 out of 10 of them was awesome.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep
Something like
going. I got to pause before the guest comes on, and we'll come back. So I want to get through a little bit more. There's another button that I found. I thought it was kind of plain, but Clam Soup thought they were going to cross their fingers and hope I get that button with a dance instructor on it. I was joking when I found it that I wanted an eagle or a chicken or anything, an ambulance driver, because Charlie found that cool fireman button.
Right.
I said I'd kill for a dance instructor on my button, but I didn't get it. That's where he was going with that joke, Doug.
Okay.
Let me see. The buttons, I'm getting the buttons out of the way early and I'm saving the best for last. You know what I mean? That's how you got to build up a crescendo.
Crescendo.
This was Joe's find, I believe. It was a nice blowhole button. And then Douglas Angeloni, sounds like a paisan. I hope I got the pronunciation right. He said, nice find. The hollow cast or blowhole buttons started to be made in the late 1600s. Most were popular from the 1740s, 1760s, found around Rev War sites, which is 100% right. That's where we find them. Usually, if we find a blowhole button, that site is old. And we usually find, the really old coppers, the King Georges. And we probably popped about maybe 8 blowholes from this button. So we already knew it was an old site at that point, but it just... everything we find just helps build that picture of the age.
And interestingly, when we got that field, I thought the house was built in 1950.
Yeah, we told the story before. When Doug called me up, Doug just saw a big house with fields in an old area. So he knocked on the door. Sometimes you don't want to go crazy with research ahead of time because they might say no. So you get the place first, then you research it. You could always not go if it looks like junk. But Doug knocked, got the house, got the fields. He called me up and said the house was from 1950. Was I the most excited I've ever been? No. But I thought, well, you know what? Let's give it a shot. And turns out the house was actually from 1850, but there was an old tavern and trading post there, probably closer to 1650. So we really got lucky with the field is what it came down to.
We did.
All right. Rich, you're back. Where'd you go?
I just had to step away for a second.
All right. I got it. Wink, wink. I wasn't sure if the camera turned. I didn't see you.
I do love those blowhole buttons, though.
Yeah, I think you found a couple. I think Matt found a couple. We were cutting them out of the videos because we were just finding too many of them. But this was Joe's first one. It was almost perfect, so I had to get it.
I've still only found maybe 5 blowholes in my whole metal detecting career.
That's one of the first things you ever found when you went with us. I remember it was me, you, Doug, Charlie. We were at permission of Charlie's out in Pennsylvania. It was the very first thing you found.
Yep, I was really happy about it.
I remember it like it was yesterday. All right, let's see what we got next, Dougie. What time we got?
When does our guest roll in?
8 o'clock.
11 minutes.
11 minutes.
Okay.
This was Doug's find. Doug had this bent in half copper that he said looked like it had Peyronie's disease. Is that what it was, Doug?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. My Radiune, I think, said that they thought they saw a Jersey copper at the 2107 mark. Now, I put up 3 pictures that I grabbed. The picture on the left is the 2107 mark. I can't see a Jersey copper. I put in some different angles. In the field, I labeled it as a slick circle, and I'm sticking with that. I don't see anything. Rich, do you see anything?
I want to, but there's nothing.
It seems awfully thin, Jason.
Yeah, it was thin. No, I mean, it could have, it could be anything really. I mean, I'm sure it was old, but I wasn't able to see anything. And, we do all sorts of things. When we're trying to get an ID and I bring up a still, I go crazy with all of the settings, like in the editing process. Like I turn the contrast way up. I bring in the blues, the greens. Sometimes you do weird things and maybe it creates a different shadow, or I did everything I could and I couldn't see anything on it, Dougie. So, but it's still an old circle.
Yeah.
You don't sound excited, but that's okay.
Yep. Or a bent old circle.
Yeah, the Peroni circle. All right, let me see. The next one here. Charlie got this one. I thought this one was super cool, Doug. And this was like, I think one of the sleepers of the show. Now, I thought it was a dog or maybe an orangutan or I don't know what it was. I was naming every animal in the zoo.
Looks like a poodle.
That's why Murphy
It's got-
seven,
That's what I just said.
Murphy 7223 said we should rename the channel. Is it a dog or a llama? Because I do that a lot. We just throw out like 1,000 guesses because who knows? But don't you see some sort of a four-legged creature trotting on the picture on the left?
Yeah.
Like a poodle. Like a poodle, yeah.
Yeah, like at the Westminster Dog Club.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's a coin or a token or a button. You can see the edges are scalloped. So I think it was something fancy at one time. Based on the age of the field, it's got to be old. I don't think it's 1900s. I think it's at least 18s. I have no idea what it could be. People were throwing out in the comments, it might be Israeli, it might be German, it might be this, might be that. But as I would try to look online to match it up, I couldn't find anything that matched. So I think it's going to wind up being something special, Charlie. We just don't know what it is.
Exactly.
So,
I agree. Yep.
And the picture on the right, you can see the rim on the inside of the scalloped edge where there was, you know, how like a KG1 has that circle inside a circle. There's something going on, and I bet that thing is probably worth like $1 million, and we'll just never know. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like one of those kind of things. All right, let me see. We might do one more, and then we'll. I'll do two more, and then we're gonna talk about the.
Let's get the buttons done.
Who's running the show, Doug?
I'm just making a suggestion.
Okay. This is just another angle of Charlie's thing. I hold it away from my hand so you can really see the scalloped edge. It kind of blended in with my hand, I thought. And then Don York said, "Welcome to the Charlie and Rich show with special guest cameraman, the quarter order." That's kind of what it was. That's kind of what it was. Charlie and Rich find everything. Doug adds a couple things here and there, and I just run around and film it all.
Well, you know what? This was a crazy day for us because we had been there so many times, and all of a sudden we were just finding all these crazy things that
The floodgates opened.
Well, the ground was soaked that day too, and before the show started, you know, Charlie was saying, you know, he went out this weekend and it was the ground was soaked, and they did really well. When the ground's really wet and saturated, the machines lock on to signals better. They get better depth. It really is an advantage to go out when the ground is wet. And it was soaked this day. I mean, we were stepping through puddles and everything, and the proof's in the pudding. You know what I mean? All right. I'm going to do one last item, and then I'm going to see if the special guest is here.
Okay.
This last one I thought was interesting, Rich. I don't even know if I shared this with you yet. Do you remember this piece, Rich? You found this.
Yep.
My View 1875 said that they can say with 100% certainty, that's no room for error, Rich, that this piece was a link from a Georgian era silver cufflink, and they were positive. So, being the anal guy that I am, I scoured the interweb, and I got some pictures next to it, and my web is 100% right.
Wow.
There they are, Rich, the silver cufflinks.
Wow.
And if you see that piece in the middle, that person was 100% on the mark.
I didn't find the part with the diamond in it, but I found
No. But you know what? I might have. If you remember, that clip didn't air yet. That's coming up later. But do you remember, Lynn? I forget who was there. I don't want to ruin it. I might have found it, Rich. I just spoiled a future video, which I can't believe I did.
Well,
I think somebody may have found it.
we can, you know what? It's not ruined because on video we can put it together, or I'll give it to you and you can see if it goes with it.
Yeah, I mean, but how cool is that? I mean, you know, My View 1875 saw that little tiny thing and they recognized it instantly. That's amazing. I mean, it's so cool that you could find anything And if you put it online, someone's going to know what it is. And it's just so impressive to me. Like, what an innocent, goofy little thing. And they knew exactly what it was.
So can anybody date it? When was the Georgian period?
Well, I'm guessing Georgian was one of the King Georges,
One
but
of
I
the
don't know
King
which one.
Georges.
So 1700s?
Well,
Probably.
there was George was still into the. I mean, King George VI was even 1900. So I don't know which George.
Yeah.
You know,
Now I'm
George
wondering about
Jefferson could have been from the 1980s. George Jefferson.
that silver chain link I found there. I wonder if that's from the same period.
It could be. It could be. All right, hold on, Rich. I'm going to bring us up here.
Oh, we're at 4 minutes.
Yeah, I'm going to see. I don't know if the special guest is here yet. I'm looking. Hold on.
How many are in the chat, Rich?
There is 335 people hanging out.
Thank you.
Nice.
All right, I'm gonna pull away from the slide picture show and see if the special guest pops in. Let me see. I'm going to try to move this down. Okay. It's hard to see because there's 5 of us on here and I have these extra, things taken up. It's hard to see if another guest pops in. So I got to try to keep an eye out. They should be. Oh, there's Joe Holland. Joe Holland, who is just Silver Joe. Joe, we were showing the awesome watch winding key you found with the horse and rider, your blowhole button. You've got some more cameos coming up later in today's show. It's good to have you here, brother. All right, hold on. Let's see here. I got to get rid of this. Give me a second. All right. All right, I'm going to just interact with the chat for a minute because I don't want the guests to pop in and me miss it. Now, they don't live near us, so I'm hoping that the time zone difference didn't become an issue and that the person shows up. Well, we will see. Oh, there's Angela. Angela, we just did her house a couple days ago. That video will be out in 6-7 weeks, but man, they also treated us great, Doug. We got the red carpet treatment. At Angela's.
We got fresh eggs.
Oh, we got fresh eggs. They bought us lunch. I mean, she lined the floor so we can go in and use the lavatory without having to take our boots off. I mean,
and let me tell you, she's quite the artist.
Oh, incredible.
Everyone needs their walls painted, and I don't mean like with a roller. I'm talking about actual paintings. She painted her dining room wall. Unbelievable. Just like it was the Sistine Chapel.
It looked like wallpaper. It was so good, but it was not wallpaper.
Yeah.
I thought it was wallpaper, and it wasn't. It was a pretty darn amazing job. All right, I'm clearing this out to see if they pop in. So I'll keep an eye on it. What time is it? 7:59. They just like to make a late entrance. Grandma Kelly's clean life, clean living. There we go, Rich. Let that be your inspiration. Grandma Kelly's clean life, clean living. Let me see here. The bandit who was at the show me hunt found something amazing that I recorded at the end of the day, Doug. That'll be next Thursday when we cover the show me hunt. NEPA history and archaeology search. I don't know. They may have been come out swinging. I'm not sure. I don't know, Charlie, if you knew everybody was there or not. I did get some pictures from Rich of the people that won the Nokta stuff at the event. I had Nokta send some detectors, pinpointers out. I asked Rich to take pictures with the winners, which he did. It was
a really fun day.
Yeah, no, it was good. You had good weather. I mean, it was beautiful weather down where we were. It was cool. All right, let's see. I'm just going to check to see if I get a text. If I don't get it in a second, I'm just going to go on with the show. And when they pop in,
are you at a loss for words?
We will come back. Dig with Dino. His buddy Greg won the score. Oh, he won the score at the come out swinging or at the show me hunt. We were able to get Nokta to send prizes to both. So it was a detector filled day all over the country. Cassidy's Adventures. Oh, the Airbnb. I'll tell that story, Doug, while I'm waiting for the guest. Rich and Charlie, you don't even know this story yet. I asked Doug specifically not to tell you because I wanted to tell it on the show. So listen to this, everybody. This is maybe the craziest story. It happened to us in a long time. It'll be the one thing I say about the
I can't wait.
The show me hunt. So, Doug and I fly down there and I rented an Airbnb because I like us to have separate rooms. Doug goes to bed early. I like to stay up late. He likes the light off. I like the light on, whatever. So
he's scared of the dark.
I'm like the boogeyman. I'm afraid of Doug, really. That's what it is, Rich. So we get into this Airbnb at like 3 a.m. because the flight was delayed like 4 times. It was awful. We didn't get there, really late. So we roll in. We wanted to take a shower before we went to bed, and there was no hot water. So, we were really bummed out. It was 3 a.m. I wasn't about to call the lady. I said, heck with it. We'll go to sleep. We'll see how it looks in the morning. So we wake up to get a shower in the morning. Still no hot water. So I text the woman and I say, look, there's no hot water. We got to go to the event to do something. We'll be back at 1 o'clock. Can you have someone there to fix it? And on the way out, we walk out of the thing. We go to the car and I see a blonde woman walking a dog, kind of in the backyard of this house. This house is in the middle of nowhere, Rich. There's not like a neighbor. It's in the middle of nowhere. So the woman walking the dog sees me and she runs towards the house. And I was like, wow, that's really weird. But we had to go. We had to get to the event. Didn't think about it. We left. So we come back 1 o'clock or so. The maintenance guy shows up. We let him in. He looks at the hot water heater. It's running. Everything looks good. I say, what's going on? I hear it. And he goes like this and he points down. And I say, what are you pointing down to? And the guy said, it's her. And I said, what are you talking about? It's her. He says, there's a squatter living in the basement. She's been living in there for about 6 weeks now. And she's down there as we sleep, as we're, I guess she can come and go as she pleases.
Oh, man.
They're trying to evict this squatter, which is very difficult in today's crazy world.
You can't. Once you get the term squatter involved,
it's nuts.
Very, very tough.
So in their attempt to try to squeeze this squatter out, they turned off the electric and the hot water about maybe 3 weeks ago. So she's been living in total darkness, no hot water.
So
knowing that they had a renter.
Yeah.
Knowing they had a renter coming, they went out the day before, turned on the electricity, the hot water. But this squatter, because they're evicting her and she's being vindictive, opened up all the hot water taps in the basement to deplete the hot water heater of hot water because she heard it turn on and she was just being a snudge. So I said to the guy, well, what the heck, man? You should disclose if there's a squatter living in your Airbnb.
That's not safe.
No, what if she burns the house down, And then the guy says to me in a way to I guess make me feel better. He said, don't worry about it. She's a harmless crackhead. I said, that does not make me feel better.
Unlike the Philadelphia crackheads that are very dangerous.
Yeah,
right.
Can she get into our sleeping quarters at night? She has no power down there. She could be starting a fire in the basement just to be able to be warm. She could burn the whole house down while we're sleeping.
Not that this is the time,
just nuts.
But I wouldn't pay for that.
Well, the problem was, now, if Doug's wife or my wife was there, we would have been out of there.
Right.
It was just me and Doug. Yeah. We had nowhere else to go because of that eclipse. Every place within a 60-mile radius was rented out for 8 months because this town was in that totality line. So everyone in the world was converting onto this small town. we had nowhere to go.
Right.
It was either live with the squatter in the basement or sleep in their car, and the squatter could still get us. You know, we didn't really have an option.
Wow.
So we came up with a system, Doug and I, where we locked the basement door, propped the chair up. I turned off the hot water valve so all the hot water stayed in the hot water heater. When we get back at night, we'd open the valve real quick. Doug and I would jump into 2 showers, take a shower, get out and shut the valve again. It was like, you know, I was like working for them. You know, I was like their second maintenance guy. It was just insane.
And you thought our last Airbnb was bad.
We had a bad one in North Carolina, but nothing like this. I mean, you know, Doug's wife was like, she was nervous. She was texting me saying like, you know, can this woman come in? Can she kill you? Like, can she rob you blind? I said, I don't know.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have brought that up until after the fact.
Well, you know, reflecting back, it's kind of funny. And when I got home, the Airbnb owner messaged me and said, I hope you had a good stay. And I said, oh, I did, but we're going to talk about this week. Because if you ever got a discount, Charlie, this is a discountable equation.
Well, the last Airbnb that I was at Digstock, well, I went to use the toilet. There's a dead squirrel in the toilet, and that was a thrilling sight.
Wow.
A flying squirrel in the toilet. I couldn't believe it.
It's funny.
Hold on.
Where was that?
Sure, when the hairy turd.
I am texting our guest. Perhaps maybe they took a little nap. So let's see. Let's see if they reply. So yeah, that was a pretty crazy story. So that happened, and then I guess I'll tell one more story. And if the guest doesn't get back to me, I'll move on with the other part of the show for now. I'll tell one story, Doug, about the little 10-year-old girl, which I thought was really funny.
Yes.
So whenever we go away to an event, I try to buy my wife a souvenir. I usually get her like a t-shirt from that town, and she tells me to stop doing it because she never wears them. But I feel like I got to get her a souvenir. So at the event, there was a woman and her 10-year-old daughter that were selling homemade soaps. And I like homemade soaps.
Yeah.
You know, they got cool scents and whatnot. So I walked up to the table, and the mom was working with someone else. So I was dealing with this 10-year-old girl. And I said, yeah, I'll get some soaps. You know, can you recommend some good ones? You know what I mean? Like just trying to be friendly. Now, I didn't realize at the time that all the soaps had risque names to them, Lynn. Like, you know what I mean? Like they were a little risque. So now picture me, you know, big grown man, you know, it's just me and this little 10-year-old girl who grabs a bar of soap and looks up at me and says, I like this one. It's called Lick Me All Over. And like my jaw dropped to the ground. You know what I mean? Like, can you imagine like if someone walked by, like John Ramoska from Illinois walks by and hears me saying to this little girl, yeah, I'll take 2 Lick Me All Overs. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
that is
first
so
of all,
crazy.
what's a 10-year-old doing with that stuff?
I didn't know what to say. And all of them. And then I was like, well, you know, what else you got? You know, because now I'm like in nervous mode. You know what I mean? And like the next one was like, kiss me in the shower. And I'm like, no. What else you got? So
I love it. What'd you end up with?
Finally, I saw one on the shelf called Firecracker. And I said, give me 5 firecrackers. I don't want to know any other names. Just give me the 5 firecrackers.
Do they smell good?
The firecrackers that I wound up buying are like a cinnamon aroma. They smell great.
Good.
I have no idea what Kiss Me in the Shower smelled like because I just wanted to get away from that as quick as I could. It was so bizarre. I mean, if it was the mom, I would have had a good chuckle and I would have smelled the Kiss Me All Over. But it was me and this little 10-year-old girl. And, you know, Rich.
Odd.
Really odd. And in this day and age, in this world, you know,
Can't
I
be
would have
too
went
careful.
to jail if I bought that bar of soap. You know what I mean? Like it gets that bad. So
It's good.
when I go back next year, if the woman's there, I'm going to maybe make a friendly recommendation that, you know, maybe give them a different name.
Yeah. Your
Let's go to
10-year-old's
an event.
calling
Maybe
them.
give it a different name. All right.
Yeah.
All right, Doug. I don't. I'm going to guess that the guest is going to come a little bit later. I haven't gotten the text back. I'd like to think.
Is that guest maybe on a different time zone?
Well, they are in a different time zone, but we discussed the time zones and how the times are different, and the time here and the time that, like, I think maybe maybe a nap came into play. Now I texted the person. I don't want to say. I only want to say their gender because when they do come on, I want Charlie to guess.
Okay.
So I'm going to go back to the clips, and when I see that they're here, I will jump in. Look what happened to Doug the first time we try to have a guest on, and look what happens.
Alan Cleveland in the chat says you should have bought some Lick Me All Over for your squatter.
That's true. Now that the squatter was probably taking cold showers for the last 3 weeks, but she sure took a hot one when we were there, Doug.
Yes.
She
ran it dry.
And to go back to the squatter story, the weird part, Rich, is from the front of the house, it looked like it was a rancher. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't even look like there'd be a basement. So when the maintenance guy told me there was a squatter, like, now I'm really curious. You know what I mean? So I walked around to the back of the house, and the house was kind of built into a hill. So when I walked around to the back, there was more basement that was kind of countersunk into the hill.
That you couldn't see from the front.
There was one door to get into the basement from the back and no windows. She must have lived down there in total darkness. And she probably comes out occasionally, walks her up. All right, the person just texted me back. They're at a club meeting, about to head home. They'll pop in as soon as they get there.
Okay.
It's almost like we didn't have a conversation today about the time. We'll see if they make it. They make it. But yeah, she must live down there in total darkness. She probably comes out, walks her dog, and as soon as she sees another human being, races back to the house because she's got to be, locked in there. What's funny? Did I miss something?
Yeah.
Yeah, real quick. So who sent this?
Julie.
My sister Julie, who is watching, just sent this.
Can you see what it is?
Lick me all over.
Yeah.
That might be the woman. The soaps are in the bathroom and the bags downstairs.
Take a bath. Lick me all over. Pinky.
Is that person that's selling it based out of Missouri?
It doesn't say.
Because it was a local person, and the soap smelled great. Everyone I picked up smelled good. I just couldn't say the name to this little girl for 90% of them.
Yeah.
Thank goodness there was one called Firecracker, and I was just like, you know what? Give me the Firecracker.
She must sell it online because here it is.
Yeah, she does. She told me she sells it online. She put her card in the bag. They were a good price. They smell great. I was bathing it up last night with one. It was just
you take baths, Jason.
What did she say?
What's that?
I said you take baths.
I would take a bath, Rich. I'm too tall to fit in the bathtub. When I say bath, I meant like in the shower. My wife takes like 4 baths a day, though. Like, she lives for baths.
See, we only have a shower, no bath.
Oh, you only have a bathtub.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we didn't have a bathtub when we bought the house, my wife would have probably made me put one in because she loves taking baths.
You wouldn't have bought the house if there wasn't a bathtub.
Well, I mean, she picks out the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just kind of follow her lead. You know how it is, Rich.
I used to love taking baths, but once I get in the tub now, I can't get out, so I just take a shower.
You can't get out because you're so comfortable, or you physically can't get up?
I can't get out. I'm stuck.
Like, you're stuck? You're in there like a turtle upside down?
Like in the wheelbarrow.
I do love baths, but all right, let me bring the show back on. I apologize. I don't know if the guest is going to be here or not now. That's how life works, isn't it? All right, let's see. Let me bring this back up again. Let me reshare this.
Jim Steele wanted to know if the guest.
You broke up,
Okay.
Doug. Say that again. Up.
Yeah, Jim Steele wanted to know if the guest was that 10-year-old girl.
No, but
What am I on a 7-second delay?
well, your whole thing
Gameplay.
locked up for a second. You locked up.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
next Thursday, when we do the Show Me Treasure Hunt live stream, I'm going to see if I can get a hold of the mom that owns the soap company. I want to try to have a bunch of people come on for 5-10 minutes. Because you see how good it works when we have guests on, like it's flawless. So we'll try to get a whole bunch of try to,
Oh, so well.
John said, Doug, you need to get a safe step tub. I don't know what that is. That like one where you have the bar you can lift yourself up?
Yeah.
The door.
It's
Got a
Or is
door.
it the
Step
kind
and
where like
door.
if you catch like a big whale, the thing goes underneath of it and like cranes it up and then lowers it down?
Yeah. And John, I'm heading in that direction quickly. Yes.
The Key Date Kid. I think the Key Date Kid, it's so confusing, Doug. You know, when you meet somebody for the first time at an event, like I try to remember their face and their name. And it's hard when you meet, 200 people. But then you got to also remember their face, their name, and then what their YouTube handle is.
Yeah.
So I
yeah.
might screw it up, but I think the Key Date Kid is Casey, who owns Excalibur Shovels, who I picked up an Excalibur. Why can't I say the word? Excalibur shovel at the event. Rich, when you see it, you are going to love it. I love the thing. Love it. It comes apart in 2 pieces, but you'd never know it. There's no wobble. It's super light. He mounts the handle on slightly cocked, which gives you so much better leverage when you're pulling back. The tip of the blade is slightly curved up so that it grabs like a nice scoop without you having to bend over as far. You're young, it doesn't matter, but as you get older, you don't want to bend over as much. And I got it bright neon green that glows in the dark. Doug was like a mile away detecting, and he kept looking back. He saw my shovel from a mile away in the ground.
It glows in the light too.
It glows
Sounds
in the dark. It's
one of those.
incredible. So, shout out to Excalibur Shovels. Why can I not say the word? It's amazing.
Charlie, say something.
Something.
Oh, somebody said
Charlie.
we can't hear Charlie. But
Charlie
hasn't talked a whole lot yet.
Charlie's not talking.
Charlie.
This is kind of the norm when we go out, Rich. I do like 98% of the talking.
Hey,
Doug does
can I
just like
say
2%.
something that will involve Charlie? I want to say something to involve Charlie.
What are you going to
What's
say?
that?
Now, a lot of people don't know, but a lot of people do. Charlie was a school teacher for many years, and his course was science. Right, Charlie?
That's correct, Doug.
Okay. Do you remember Mr. Wizard?
No, I was too busy milking cows. Besides being a science teacher,
Are you
we didn't
kidding me?
watch TV much. Seriously,
Doug, I had
Really?
no idea who Mr. Wizard was,
I
but
heard
based
If
on
ever
the
a wizard
comments,
was.
most people do know who he is based on there must have been 100 people that remembered him. I just was not
Yeah.
one of them.
I'm shocked that Charlie does. Really?
well, we watch TV in the evenings, and my dad was he was control of the TV at the time. Lawrence Welk, stuff like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know
well,
Lawrence well.
Talk was only once a week. Come on.
Yeah, I thought it was like a Bill Nye the Science Guy kind of a
Now,
Well,
thing.
I
he
know
was a
Bill
precursor.
Nye.
You know
I know-
Bill Nye.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Well,
like Bill Nye.
when Don Herbert, who was Mr. Wizard, died, Bill Nye wrote his obituary.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'll have to look him up
Yeah.
later. A lot of people knew who he was. And even in the comments, I saw people, Ken Hurst, they knew who he was. I mean, hundreds of people in the comments were on your side. So it's me and Charlie that are probably the oddballs and just don't know the
Right.
guy. Usually when Doug gives a reference to something in a video, it's the most obscure thing that like only him and a handful of people in the world know about. But this wasn't one of them. Apparently this guy is famous. I'm not familiar with him.
Well, Doug, we only had three.
He was.
I don't know. We didn't have
Okay.
that UF back in the day. We didn't have many channels on our TV. And again, we didn't watch much TV.
Well, I think he was on PBS. So everybody had PBS at one time or another. But
All right, Doug, I got a text from our guest
anyhow,
who
I thought
said,
he was.
I got a text from the guest that said, "Oh my goodness, I forgot about the time difference. I thought we discussed it, but stuff happens. So I don't know if they're going to be back in time. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Hopefully they make it."
Okay.
All right. Anyway, let me bring the thing back up. We'll at least try to move back along. Try to keep on rolling. All right, where
That's
were we
nice.
over here, Doug? Oh yeah, Rich's fancy gizmo thingy. All right, where are we at? Let me get my show notes up because now I'm all discombobulated.
I do love that thing even more now, though.
Yeah, did you even see the comment that the guy made about that Georgian piece?
I did not.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see in the chat too. Action 5, who we saw down at the Show Me hunt. Action 5, we bumped into him at several hunts. Good guy. David Cassidy, Ski Searcher. Doug, who was the family that followed you around the whole day and the sun dug all your holes?
I think his name was Cassidy.
That's what I thought.
Wasn't it?
It's not. Is it that Cassidy that's in the
Yeah,
chat?
Dustin was his
Dustin,
first name.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into it too much, Rich, but there was a whole family that followed Doug around the whole day, and the son, who was maybe 20, dug all the holes for Doug. I mean, he was in his glory.
Not all of them. I felt bad.
He had one guy carting him all over in a golf cart like he was like the Prince of Wales. He had another young kid digging all his holes. I mean, I don't even think he broke a sweat. You know what I mean? Like,
Man, it sounds like I ought to come out there next year.
Dangus Squat Burgers here. That's a name I recognize from every single one.
Yep, there's a good one.
Yeah, he's in there a lot.
John Ramoska says I had a dirt butler.
You did. John's a good guy. John hosts the Illinois hunt. We're trying to see if we can get out there. I don't want to promise. I gave him the whole story why. We're going to see. Fingers crossed.
Yep.
Hot Mess Fishing, Alicia, we met down there, who was awesome. Adrian Tucker, who wins a hat every single time during the hunt. Adrian sent me a picture of him wearing the hat. I didn't queue it up yet. Next week I'll do it because we have a different prize this week. Scott Cash, who was the father of the young man who was driving Doug around. Yes. Scott made this awesome thing where he redid a big trailer and he put these old church pews around the perimeter so people can sit as he courted them from because the place was huge. So if you wanted to go from one field to another, he would cart you around in the back of this trailer with the church pews in it.
Team Lynch, super chat.
Oh, Team Lynch, thank you. To start your therapy after the soap and squatter. Oh, you're not kidding. It was a crazy weekend. We had a lot of fun, but there was just some weird. There's always weird shenanigans when we go somewhere.
Yeah.
Thank you, Team Lynch.
It has a lot to do with who gets the Airbnbs.
Well, I get every single one. Have you ever gotten one?
No, that's my point.
I send all you guys the pictures, and I say, "What do you think?" Because I don't want to be a jerk who books it. I even say, "Doug, have your wife look at it. Let me know, before I get it." But this hunt, the first thing that popped up, I had to grab it because there was nowhere to stay because of the astronomy stuff going on.
Yeah. We were lucky.
You, Team Lynch. You helped buy the fancy new microphone that I'm talking on. I hope I sound good. I was getting all those problems last week where I was popping, and hopefully that's resolved.
I would get a new makeup artist, though.
I'm going to have the soap girl come up. I'll have her. All right, let's move on to the next one while we're waiting for the guest.
7-second delay.
All right, so this is a good one, Doug. This one,
okay.
Craig Allen said, "Great day, fellas. A whole bunch of what's in the clumps." We did have a bunch of what's in the clumps this day. This one was Doug, what's in the clump, and I think it was incredibly successful, Doug. I got a couple clips, and then we'll go to the end product.
I do love the what's in the clump game.
I do too, when it works. So Joe popped the clump there, and you can see something that looks possibly intriguing. And then Joe put it in my hand, and it sure looked like it was going to be something, you know, and then we do all the spray down and everything. And that's what Doug got.
Yeah.
It looked like a sterling silver part of an arrow. And then we had a couple comments on it, Doug, because it was cool. History Pack Rat said the silver arrow might be an insignia of the Order of the Arrow, a Boy Scouts organization for honored campers that perform services for the local troops. Their motto had the initials WWW, which is an abbreviation for Delaware Indian words. I guess he didn't know them, but neither would I. So what I thought was a squiggly line on the shaft, and yours is broken, maybe are 3 W's. Lynn, what do you think? Could they be 3 W's?
I think so.
Thanks, Lynn.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to get Lynn to say 2 words.
My voice changed.
No, it's a design.
I think it's a design.
Okay. Well,
Unless it's a design that is meant to signify.
hold on, wait. I think our special guest is here, Lynn. Hold that thought.
Okay.
Hold that thought. Let me see. Let me come over to here.
Although it does look there, it looks like 3 W's.
All right, our special guest is here. They're probably in the car since they totally forgot about the whole show. But Charlie, we're going to do a quick game real quick. Let me get rid of that. I'm going to try to give you some clues, Charlie, so you can try to guess who the special guest is. And then once you get it, I'm going to bring them in. Now, I think you're going to get it. You know, the clues are pretty specific for this person, Charlie. So do you have your listening ears on?
I do.
All right. So here are some clues about this person.
It's like playing what's my
I'll start with vague and make them more the opposite of vague. I can't think of the word. All right. Number 1, the person is a gifted painter. Okay, gifted painter. They're in the metal detecting, treasure hunting world. All right, so they're a gifted painter, Charlie. The person has over 10,000 YouTube subscribers on their channel, so it's not a new or small channel. Okay, there's 2 clues. Any guesses yet? Okay, I'll get them better. Ready? The person is. All the other clues are going to give it away. The person co-hosts a weekly podcast, which I think you've been on, but I'm not sure. If you haven't, you will eventually. Weekly podcast host. Now they're going to get real specific. You're probably going to get it.
Can't we say real quick? We've heard them on a lot of other?
Would it be Amanda?
No, it's not Amanda. I'll give you the next clue.
Podcasts or metal detecting shows.
Well, I'll give you the next clue because the clues are also her bio. So I'm killing 2 birds with 1 stone, Rich.
Gypsy?
Yes, that's Charlie got it.
You just said her, Jason.
Did I say her? I was trying not to. Hold on, wait. That's
Yeah.
not her. Hold on, where is she? She's over there. There we go. It's Gypsy Jewels.
Hi there.
Hello.
Hello.
Gypsy is here. Just to finish the bio, Charlie, I didn't even get to that she is on the Garrett field team and has been for years. Right. She was on Discovery TV's Gold Rush. She was on History Channel's Beyond Oak Island. She is now an author of her first book that I know of called Just Digging It, which I picked up my copy this weekend, signed by the lovely Miss Jules. And she hosts her own yearly annual detecting birthday bash down in Texas, which we're going to talk about in a second. But Gypsy, how the heck are you?
Hey, I didn't forget about you. I promise. I just totally forgot about the time difference. I don't know why I didn't, because I was thinking that earlier today, I've got plenty of time to go to my Jeep Club meeting and then be back in time to hop on.
That's okay. We were stalling. I'm really good at stalling.
Oh, I apologize. I owe you one.
That's okay. I'm glad you made it. Now, Gypsy, I wanted to talk about first of all, the book. Now, I knew Gypsy wrote this book. Came out, I don't know, maybe like a month or 2 ago, Gypsy?
Yeah, just tell me about 2 months now, and I when I published it, it is on Amazon now. You can get them on Amazon, as well as American Digger magazine, which is where Jason Hoarder had gotten his, picked up this last hunt. They carry some of my autographed, but of course I had to personalize it for Jason.
You're darn tootin'.
And then I've got a couple other metal detecting stores that have been picking it up. I just met a fellow today and brought him 25 books to carry. This is his second time. First time he ordered 20 and he's already sold out. So that's good. That's good news.
Now, let me ask you, Gypsy, I mean, it's your first book. Did you have to have an editor? Like, how does one go about never writing to like publishing a whole book? Like it's a frightening endeavor.
It was very frightening, and still kind of, going, well, how did I do that? But through, I guess with the metal detecting world, I know a lot of people now that have put out books, even in the metal detecting field. So that helped. I talked to some of them to see how they publish theirs. Some of it, depending on which route you go, it can get very pricey, which is still, I'm still paying off my original
investment.
Yes, I'll put it. Yes, that's a great way to put it. My investment, because I had to pay. Yeah, I did have to pay an editor to go in there and check all the spelling and all that fun stuff, because I'm not eloquent. I'm a Texan girl,
Well, I read about the first chapter. I just got it Sunday, so I didn't, and we're flying home. I didn't get to read it yet. I was waiting until you were there because I wanted a personalized signed copy. So I haven't read the whole thing yet, but I will. I was just so excited because I was telling Doug, I said, Gypsy is such a sweetheart. I don't know if anyone that's ever met her would say a bad thing about her. The nicest person. So I was so stoked when I heard that you put the book out, and I can't wait to dive into it. I'm hoping this weekend. It's supposed to rain on Sunday, so I might stay in and read it cover to cover.
It's an easy read. You're going to read it super fast because I tried to do it. Well, the first few parts, like the guy that wrote my, what do you call it? Now I can't even think of the word.
Introduction?
Yeah, the introduction.
Yeah, it's
Gypsy, do you even know the people? I don't even know if you know them. I'm sorry. Charlie, who was up at the top. I know you know Charlie.
Charlie.
I met you first time was Pound the Ground years ago.
Yeah, I know Charlie.
I thought you did, but I didn't want to be rude. Below Charlie is Rich, and that's Lynn. They both hunt with us all the time. I don't know if you've seen them or not.
Hello. Hi.
Then the gentleman with the glowing head, that's dog tag Doug.
Is that Doug?
Hey.
And everyone, if you don't know Gypsy Jewels, I'd like to say good friend of mine who I've known for many, many years. And at this point, probably one of the most recognizable people in the detecting world. So kudos for her, because you got to do it all yourself. You know what I mean? You got to do it all yourself.
We have to market ourselves. We have to film. We have to. It keeps us busy, doesn't it? Keeps us.
Yeah, I mean, the book is crazy. And then you got on some of the only and super popular treasure hunting shows that are out there right now, the Oak Island and the Freddy Dodge, the Gold Rush show. Now, listen, not that I'm trying to sneak in there, but how does a person get on or even get like an interview to get on like a major network show like that? Can you give us a little sampling of how you were able to do that?
I was lucky enough that they contacted me, thankfully. And I know you've been approached a few times yourself. Sometimes, we hear from these companies and these TV shows, and they'll talk about doing this show or that show, and nothing comes of it. But luckily, these two shows were shows that we had already, been in production, and so they contacted me. I think with the Freddy Dodge, Garrett already had a relationship with Freddy. He uses the Garrett gold pans and the Garrett metal detectors and stuff. So I got to meet Freddy Dodge when we were at the SHOT Show in Vegas a couple years ago. Garrett had asked me to go to the SHOT Show and do autographs there, and so that's where I got to meet Freddy Dodge and Juan, his co-host, and that was really cool. It was funny because I didn't know who Freddy Dodge was, and everybody was walking around wanting their photo with him. And he came to our booth at the Garrett booth, and everybody's wanting photographs with him and shaking his hand. And I'll have no clue who this guy is. And then the next thing you know, he's passing around this big gold bar that says Gold Rush on it. And then so it passes to my hands, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, oh, wow, okay. So he's on one of the Gold Rush shows. Okay. And then finally, Freddy, he walks up and he said, sorry, I have not met you yet. And he's really sweet and polite and introduced himself. That was a really, really cool thing. And then after that, he got with Steve Moore from Garrett and asked if I would be interested after he talked to Steve Moore about me and out, I've been detecting for a long time. And asked if I'd be interested in being on the show, and there
That's
you
cool.
go.
And one of them, was it that show or the Beyond Oak Island that you were on multiple episodes, not like one, not even just one?
Yeah, that was Beyond Oak Island. They actually found me. I'm trying to think how they contacted me. I can't remember if they saw me on Instagram first and then looked me up on my YouTube channel and saw my YouTube channel. And then I can't remember exactly how they messaged me. Maybe found my website. I can't. And then I got a phone call from them. And
that's really cool, though. My YouTube channel, Gypsy, got us on Beavis and Butthead, and Doug's trying to get us on the Powerpuff Girls. That's all we get. We get these B-rated. You get the big time. We get the leftover stuff.
Beavis and Butthead is big time. It's just comedy.
Is it all right? Well, we get Comedy Central, and she gets History and Discovery Channel. There's a hierarchy there.
There's nothing wrong with comedy. That's why I like your show. That's why I've always loved about watching y'all's show. It's just the camaraderie, the friendships between, but also just the laughter and having fun, because that's what this is all about. It's about the people we meet. I mean, it's of course about the finds and the history but there's so much to the friendships and the people that the properties, the owners of these properties, because without them, where would we be? We'd be at the local park.
That's what it is. It's you got to get them all involved. You try to have a good time. Earlier in the show, the woman who owned the house we did a week or two ago came into the chat. Super nice family. We bought like 6 extra machines. The whole neighborhood showed up. We were all detecting her property.
Well, how cool.
A neighbor around the corner found the best thing of the day, the oldest thing of the day. But that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? It's about the memories, making friendship, promoting the hobby in a positive nature. And I know you do all the same things.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of people don't realize getting into the hobby, that it reflects on all of us, like the metal detecting code of ethics, and those are little things that a lot of people, don't necessarily think about when they first get in the hobby, but I tried to touch on all of those things in my book, at least. And hopefully I covered it all well enough. Some of it I didn't go into very big detail because I know newbies and all of us really are span very long anymore.
Well, hey, whatever you don't cover, then it leaves room for the follow-up book. You know what I mean, Gypsy?
There you go.
So it's available everywhere. I know it's available on your site, which is what, gypsydigs.com.
Yeah, you can go to gypsydigs.com and on the link, it'll actually connect directly over to Amazon to purchase. Or you can even go to Garrett Direct.
Is that just Garrett.com, their website?
I think it's actually called Garrett Direct.
Oh, GarrettDirect.com.
Uh-huh.
I'll find it and put it in the show description when I'm done. I knew of your website and Amazon. I didn't know Garrett sold it till just now.
Yeah, Garrett bought 100 copies and had me sign them all. So if you want a signed copy, you can go over to Garrett Direct.
Yeah, I got mine here. I mean, this is the signed one, and then my little special meds. And then she wrote a whole bunch more over here, but I can't read this in public. You know what I mean, Doug? Like, this is just me and her. I got to keep this page.
I didn't get one.
I paid for it, Doug. I didn't want a freebie. She worked
hard. Hey, I'll
on
pay for it.
Money.
I'll pay for it.
I bought it right from Butch at American Digger, who was there. And I got a fun clip that I'll show when that video comes out 2 months from now. But I'll probably show it in the live stream next week. But
hey, Gypsy, can I ask Gypsy a question?
Absolutely, you can.
Yeah, Gypsy, did you get a movie deal yet?
I'm actually working on it. So not a movie deal, but a TV deal, a reality show.
Wow.
I'm actually leaving tomorrow to drive down to Galveston. There's a new project I'm working on, and I'm going to be meeting with the Historical Society or Historical Commission there, as well as a group there that does some tours for some of the historical homes. And we're working on getting some permission for the show there. So I'm really excited about that. And then after I leave there, I go to Richmond, Texas, meeting with the mayor there and on some historical things there. So I'm really excited about some of these new projects. But it's just the very stages, so there's not much I can say as yet. But I'm
sure we'll get it. I mean, if you don't follow Gypsy on her YouTube channel, Zero Discrimination, she's on Facebook under her Gypsy Jewels. She's on the Gypsy Digs website. You know, she can find. Oh, there's a super chat from Canada, Gypsy. You know Canadian people, right, Gypsy?
I sure do.
Rodney Castleman, Canadian detecting and magnet fishing. Thank you, Rodney.
Not only is it a super chat, but it's the 10th super chat this show.
Did I miss one, Rich?
You missed 9 of them.
I don't know, but it's just saying that it's the 10th one.
Oh, I hope I didn't. If I try to keep an eye on it.
I don't think you missed any, but
all right. Well, thank you. They bought this new microphone. I spent $600 on this microphone because I was getting popping sounds last week.
Oh boy.
Now, Gypsy, I want to ask you too. I don't want to hold you up all night, but you're doing a birthday detecting event celebration. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes. So I just announced it, not yesterday, but the day before. I did one last year, birthday bash, and it went really well. And so this is my second annual birthday bash. It's actually the day before my birthday, but we'll call it my birthday bash. But what a great way to spend your birthday with so many metal detecting friends, you know, and people from all over. I already have people coming in from Colorado, from Washington, and then the rest that have signed up are from Texas. But I've limited it to about 250 people. But I would love for any to come. It should be a blast. I've already started making. I'm doing. It's going to be a silver hunt. There's probably still a lot of tokens still around last year. And I'm extending the hunt fields, and I've already started making. I'm burying a bunch of caches. There'll be silver cache along where with besides silver in there, there'll be jewelry in some of them.
I thought you said cashews because I saw Doug get real excited. She said cashes, Doug, cashes.
Hey, Gypsy.
I put the flyer up for
Hey,
Gypsy on the
another
screen. It looks
question
like
for
it's
Gypsy.
November 2nd, Pittsburgh, Texas. Is that right?
That is correct. So it's out in the middle of nowhere. Pittsburgh. It's actually out in the country, in between Pittsburgh and on some family property there. And the last hunt, there was a lot of natural finds found as well. I do know of 2 old homesteads that were on the property, so a lot of cool stuff found. And it should be a blast this year because I'm trying something different with the caches. There'll be silver coins and Indian heads and jewelry and all kinds of in each one of these caches. So excited about that as well.
Well, that's cool, guys. If you want something to do, that's a good time of year for Texas too, because it's probably real hot in the summer, but by November, it's probably real comfortable. I heard nothing but good things about your first one you did last year. And this one, November 2nd, we're going to try to make it. We're going to see how it goes.
I sure hope you can. And another thing, I sell metal detectors. I mean, I may be sponsored and by Garrett, part of the Garrett field team, but I sell all brands and I've used all brands. And so I'm trying to get many of the, like if Nocta wants to come, I guess I should contact Delic. And also Mind Lab. In fact, I had a guy there last year that set up, he mainly sells Mind Lab. And so coming again this year, but I'm going to try to get Debbie. And so it would be really cool to get all of the different brands there, a lot of the different, not what I'm looking for, brand ambassadors, whatever you call them.
Well, we're gonna try to get down there. We booked so many events early this year that I have to ride that line careful because I'm married, Gypsy, and I want to stay that way. So I gotta be cautious. But we're gonna try. I want to bring a few things up too. Let me see if I can figure this out.
Can I ask Gypsy another question?
Sure, Doug.
Gypsy, yeah, you mentioned Richmond, Texas. And you mentioned that your event is going to be held in Pittsburgh, Texas.
Yeah.
Does Texas have any towns that they haven't stolen from other states?
No, it's funny, not just states, but the countries, because there's a Paris, Texas.
Exactly.
There's a you name it. Texas has more reputable towns than anything. Like I lived when I was younger in Odessa, Texas. And apparently there's Odessa, Russia. It was named after Odessa, Russia.
Well, we have an Odessa, Delaware, not far from here. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Gypsy, anytime we have a guest on, I'm always hoping that Doug will insult them somehow. That always worked out well. Yeah. But I want to show a few pictures, not a ton of them, but this was an event that we were at together. Do you remember where we were, Gypsy, in this event?
I think we were in Oklahoma.
We were in Oklahoma with Barack. Remember Barack?
Yes. How is he?
He left the company and went on to something else in his career, but man, he was a good guy. And then I got a picture of this is from this weekend when I picked up her book fresh from the shelf, and then she appeared like a genie and was nice enough to sign it for me.
Is that Joe Bell in the back?
I think it is Joe Bell in the back.
Yeah.
But I mean, look at that face. Come on, tell me she's not a sweetheart.
That's goofy.
And then I got a picture, Doug, of this is Gypsy's vehicle that she takes to the events. You can see it coming from a mile away. She's got the huge Gypsy Jewels logo on the sides, got her website on there. I wish we were smart enough to do that, Doug. We roll up in like a 78 Pinto.
Wow.
Is that what she's sitting in right now?
Is that what you're in right now,
She knows how
Gypsy?
to market her.
Oh, she's in it right now, Doug.
That's all.
I am.
She's in it right now. Let me see. I had a couple of pictures. Let me see.
Yeah.
This is what I told you. She's an artist, Doug. She painted that thing. Now I grabbed this from your Facebook page. You probably painted it like a year ago, but
Do you know what it
tell me
is?
that's not talented, Doug.
Yeah. Peacock.
It's a peacock.
You know what it
and
is?
Then, it's a peacock,
Very good.
right? Yeah, I said that.
Yeah.
She painted that one, Doug. Now
Ooh,
that's actually
that's
a photograph
Gypsy from
of
the back.
you back in the 70s, Doug.
Doug, how did you guess?
That was Doug in the 70s.
Yeah,
had to
I was
shave his
thinner
back
and had
down
hair.
first. She shaved his back down, but he looks good. And then of course Gypsy's birthday bash. I'll have links to where you can get her book and to the birthday bash in the description after the show. I got to do I'll do all them later.
Right.
Gypsy, thank you for coming on. I'm sorry that there was a time.
So sorry, I was.
That's
left.
okay. I covered for you with some really funny jokes if you go back and watch it later.
Okay. Right.
No, you didn't.
I know. I tried to. I told a really weird story about a 10-year-old girl that came on to me, and it was so bizarre. So that killed a lot of time.
Well, I appreciate you having me on, and thank you so much, Jason and Doug. And it's a pleasure to meet all of you. And Charlie,
You
we
too.
need to get together. And well, I feel bad because I've been telling Jason forever that I need to get over to New Jersey. So maybe this is the year. This is the year.
Maybe. Hopefully so. And I think you're going to Kodaha in October, right?
Yes, I will be at the Kadoha hunt, and
Kadoha.
hope to see y'all there for sure.
Yeah. Doug and I'll be
Charlie,
there,
are
and
you-
we're going to try to get Rich to go to that too. We'll have a lot of fun. If I don't see you
I'm up
before
to it.
then, I'll at least see you at least a second time this year.
Well, that would be awesome. Well, I look
Well,
forward
thank
to
you
seeing
for coming on, Gypsy. I appreciate it. I know you're busy. You're in the car. You're driving. Thank you for coming on, everybody.
Thank
The
you
lovely
so
and talented Gypsy Jewels, and I'll have links to all her stuff. Make sure you get that book, Gypsy Jewels, Just Digging It, The Beginner's Guide to Metal Detecting. And if she's not the sweetest person you ever met, then something's wrong with you, because I'm telling you she is.
Oh, you're so sweet. Well, thank y'all for having me. I appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing y'all again, hopefully.
You have a good night. Thanks for coming on, Gyps.
All right. Good night, y'all.
All right.
Good
Bye-bye.
night.
Night.
Bye. Nice meeting y'all.
You too.
You too.
What do you think of that, Doug? Gypsy Jewels gotten some
Yeah.
celebrities on the show.
The one and only.
What's that?
The one and only.
I thought there could have been a little bit of a time zone thing there, but
I
that's
never-
okay.
Artist.
Yeah.
So
I never-
let me
Yeah.
do this since people hung in there so long with all the distractions. Before I go back to the show, because we got some really good stuff coming up, Doug. I thought we would do
Today?
we still got all the best finds. We just got through the buttons, remember?
Oh, okay.
If you have to go, I'll do it without you. That's okay if you're tired. I know you were out digging all day. So I thought we would do Lynn's the Guess Lynn's Thing game, Doug, and we'll give away some prizes. That'll wake people back up again. What do you think?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So if you don't know how the game works, and Adrian Tucker is licking his chops because he wins every week.
He doesn't have enough hats.
No, let me see if I can get this straight, because we'll see if we can get it right. Doug, you know the name of the game, right? Guess Lynn's Thing.
Lynn's Thing. That's cringeworthy. You got to change that.
I know. That's why I keep it. I love it. It's just
Do it.
uncomfortable enough. It's like talking to a 10-year-old girl about the shower.
Yeah.
Ugh, it just feels wrong. All right. So this week's episode of Guess Lynn's Thing, Doug, is sponsored, like I said, from the Ultimate Finds Box, who makes the Ultimate Finds Box. Comes in 12 different colors. We use it to hold all of our coins and finds in the field. He also makes the coin cleaning vise, which I use whenever I have to clean something. So coins, when they're soapy and wet, they slip out of your fingers. This locks them in there. Everything from Morgan dollar size to Trime size, it's a cool little device. He makes the marble and coin displays. He makes the bumper covers, the coil ear stiffeners, the grip stop, and then the newest thing for me was this magnetic shovel prop, Doug. I thought it was really awesome. It was like a simple idea, but yet genius at the same time. I know Charlie has one. He mentioned it to me before, but in the moment, I didn't really notice we were doing something. I never really looked at it to see what it was until this weekend. I'm going to show you a little bit. I mean, it's self-explanatory when you see it. Comes in 15 different colors. And let's see, I have a little clip. There's mine mounted on my shovel. You can see those 2 circles I put on are the 2 magnets. It wraps around and screws onto the shaft of any detector. He makes them for every make and model. And once it's on there, you lean your shovel on your detector on your shovel. And look at that, Doug. It's not moving.
Wow.
I can't tell you how many times I would lean my detector on a shovel and
it
the shovel,
over.
falls off, the wind blows, and what happens is you wind up damaging your machine. Eventually the arm cuff breaks, something goes bad. So, like I said, a simple little device, and I just thought it was brilliant. It reminds me of that smiley face Brillo pad that you do the dishes with. You ever see that thing, Doug? The Scrub Daddy? Like such a simple concept, but it's made so well, it's genius. You know what I mean? And the Scrub Daddy guy made millions of dollars. I hope Eric makes half that much on the magnetic shovel prop. Again, theultimatefindsbox.com. The winner of the Guess Lynn's Thing game will win the magnetic shovel prop in the color of their choice. Again, it goes on any detector brand you have. And Eric is also, right before the show, texted me. He's got a 15% coupon code, good for the whole site. If you don't win, just put the word prop. If you would go to the Ultimate Finds box, pick yourself one up along with any of the other things he's got. He's an awesome dude and a big supporter of the show. Whoo, what do you think of that, Dougie?
That's great.
You're impressed.
I got to get me one of them.
Yes, you do. Well, he told me he's going to charge you double.
Oh, okay.
But you get
That's
15% off if you use the discount code prop.
Okay.
All right. So let's get back to the magic, Doug. Now, you know how this works. I'm going to bring this up full screen. I'm going to get rid of our beautiful faces for just a minute here. Guess Lynn's Thing. It's going to bring up a picture of the object. It's going to be an antique from Lynn's collection, hopefully one that you're not familiar with. The first correct answer wins. And when I say first correct answer, we are accepting 2 possible answers. If you, your whole life, referred to it as a third one, sorry, we can't count it. The answers are at the end. So get your fingers ready. Lynn, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go, everybody. Good luck and guess Lynn's Thing.
Oh.
All right, there she blows, Dougie. Doug, if you know what it is, don't yell it out.
No, I won't. Mainly because I don't know what it is.
The guesses that I'm seeing are what I first thought it was, but obviously I wasn't going to make it quite that simple.
Right.
Oh,
That's a
salt
obvious.
and pepper shaker.
No.
Oh, multiple salt and pepper shakers.
Lynn has 70 of them in her collection, she said. 70.
Yeah, they were made out of all different kinds of materials. Tin, wood, even silver.
All right, I'm going to pause this. We'll get the final guesses in. Charlie, not that I want you to blab out the answer, but do you have an idea what you think it might be?
I do not. I'm like
Whoops.
perplexed here.
Somebody got it.
I saw somebody got it kind of early. I saw the answer come up. Was that when I looked it up online, it had a different name than what Lynn told me, but Lynn makes the rules. The name she gave me, I did see up there, and I think I know who it is, but Rich is my verifier.
We saw one, and then we did see another one that we didn't talk about, but technically it is what it is.
All right, let me show the reveal, and once the reveal is up, Lynn, you can explain what it is, and if you have one, you're welcome to show it. If you have one on your person, if you don't worry about it.
I've got 70 of them.
Well, I mean, if you have one like right with you.
70 was a real number, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. She told me. All right. The answer is Doug. Are you ready, Doug? Drum roll. It was
I'm
called
ready.
wait. Lynn called it a sander, right, Lynn?
Sander or pounce pot.
Or pounce pot. When I looked it up, people referred to it as treen sander, but Lynn was accepting sander.
Treen just means made of wood. So that only covers the wooden ones. Treen is a term for wood.
Lynn,
These
can you
made out of
explain to
metal,
people
wood, anything.
what it is?
Okay. Back when they used to write with a quill pen and they would write a document and the ink would be wet for quite a while, they would sprinkle this, it's called pounce. It's a real fine sand on top of the document to dry it. It would absorb the ink. And then the pounce was actually expensive, so they would dump it back into the sander to reuse. That's, why the holes on the top that has a rim around it, so that, you can dump it back in.
It looked like a black sand, right?
It was a very fine black sand. And this picture shows actually an original package of it that's never been opened. That's 2 containers right there. They call it blotting sand, but they're original and they've never been used.
When I looked them up, Lynn, these go back to like the 1700s.
Yeah.
And you were saying that some have like a cork where you would maybe dump it in a little faster, but some of them you have to pour it in to, let me go back. You have to pour it into those tiny little holes to get it back in there, which would have been a real hassle.
Most of them did not have a cork. It's only an occasional one that I've had, but most of them are just solid on the bottom and you poured it in through the top.
So, Rich, who was the winner? I thought I saw a name, but you are my eyes of the game.
So, as far as I can tell, the first person to say sander was Luana Dillingham.
Luana Dillingham?
Yes.
Yay, Luana.
Let me see. I'm going to scroll up and see if I see it also. I'm looking. What answer did you see that Luana put in?
Sander.
Oh, just sander. Let me see.
But that's.
Yes, I see the same thing. The first answer I have is time stamped Luana Dillingham. So Luana, if you are here, you win. I see she's in there. She said, "Yay!"
She's my friend, Jason.
Yes. Lynn has an interesting story about one, but before I cue her up, Luana, I need you to put your zip code in the chat and then email me quarterhoarder@yahoo.com your mailing address. And as long as your mailing address matches the zip code, you've got yourself the new magnetic shovel prop from Ultimate Finds Box, who is in the chat. I'm telling you, it's awesome. Sometimes the most obvious things just never occurred to anybody. The guy's a genius. I love the thing. Any detectors in your life, Luana is going to love it. Lynn, you said that you have one of these sanders that does not have the sand powder. It has something else in it. Can you tell the people what's in it?
Yeah. Well, the collection that I have was actually my mother's. I inherited it. And one of them is really heavy, although with the sand, the pounce in it, it would make it heavy. But one of them that I have is filled with gold dust. Somebody must have been hiding it in there at one time, and it's still in there.
I found which one it was when I was little, when I was younger, but I can't remember now. They're all back there behind us.
Now they're pretty big, Lynn. If that thing, that big thing is filled with gold dust, I mean, you're talking a lot of money worth of gold dust, right?
Well, they're about 3 inches tall, 3 or 3.5 inches tall, but still, that's quite a lot.
That's a couple of ounces of gold, right?
Yeah, that's heavy.
It is.
I mean, that's a heck of a thing for your mom to, accident. Imagine pouring that on the ink, like whoops, and then like blowing.
Yeah, I know it. It's.
Hey, Lynn, if you need any ideas for a birthday present for me,
Yeah.
How about a bag of gold dust?
I'll see what I can do, Dougie.
Wasn't there a wrestler named Gold Dust?
Okay.
Hold on, my when I scrolled up on the chat, it messed it up. Let me just fix this. I don't know if Luann put her zip code in there yet. I got to reload the chat.
Yeah.
But congratulations, Luann. And that was an awesome one. Every week, Lynn gets a good one that kind of pulls the wool over our eyes. And there's some of her impressive collection. She even had a clue that she put them on top of the ink paper so that people would, maybe have that clue that had something to do with ink right there on that paperwork there.
Right.
So,
But nobody got it. Nobody got
no,
it.
Luann got it. I'm sorry.
Luana.
Whatever.
It's Luana.
My whole chat kind of locked up, so I can't see it. Rich, you'll have to be my eyes and ears if she did indeed put her zip code in.
I know her zip code if you don't.
I did.
Oh, do you know her, Lynn?
I do.
Oh, how do you know her?
She is a jewelry customer and a friend from Ohio. We've never met in person, but we write all the time.
Okay, well, she counts. She counts. All right, and then while I'm reloading the chat here,
somebody in the chat. Now, this is not Lynn's nickname that everybody's waiting for, but somebody had a good one.
What is it?
Lynn is the collineal expert.
The collineal expert.
Yeah.
Very
we had a lot of good ones. The one that I told you already, Rich, I'm sticking with it because it'll go on forever if we don't, ultimately make a decision.
Well, when are you going to announce it?
Well, I'm going to record it, and I'll throw it in like this week or next week's video, even though Lynn might not have even been there that week. I wanted her to be there, and we didn't record it yet, but I don't want to wait 2 months. So I'll record it, and then we'll just stick it in another video.
Okay.
But Lynn, while we're on the Lynn segment, I call it the Lynn segment. We are also going to promote another one of Lynn's upcoming antique shows she's going to. If you go to one of Lynn's antique shows she sets up, we give her signed photos of me and Doug, which has nothing to do with Lynn, but we give her those. Or you can meet Lynn. You could see some of her antiques. You can maybe buy some, shake her hand, get a picture. This one, she said, is her biggest event of the whole year. It's coming up in a few weeks in Berlin, Ohio. I got a few pictures, Lynn, if you want to kind of tell people about the event.
Yeah, it's actually in about 2 weeks. It's April 27th from 9 to 3. It's only a 6-hour show, and it gets mobbed. It's really a great show. There's about 60 dealers. All of them, every one of them is great. And it's just, show has a lot of energy and just a lot of great stuff to see. So if anyone is from Ohio or any other state and comes, come say hello, and I'll give you a wonderful signed picture of Jason and Doug.
All right, Rich, I'm seeing in the chat that Luann is passing the gift forward. Maybe she doesn't have a metal detector.
She doesn't.
She doesn't have one. That's okay. So what we'll do is let's see. I could do like a I'm going to put a picture up, Doug, and I'm just going to have the first. Let me just do this real quick. I have one last slide. This last slide is of Jerry, who I forgot last week. Jerry visited Lynn at the last antique show, amongst other people. That's the picture that we give out, the signed photo of me and Doug. Everybody wants one of them. You can put it in the toilet. You can put it on the dartboard. You can do whatever you want with it. But you know what? It's free, and you get to meet Lynn. So get out to the antique show. You're going to see some cool antiques. And the more you see and know, maybe you'll win the Guess Lynn's Thing game the next time we do it.
That's right.
So, Jason, are you passing that along to the next person who said...
Well, no, what I'm going to do, Rich, is here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hold on. I'm queuing one up. How am I going to do this?
Because there was another answer.
Because I looked back. I have the second person.
All right, then do that. Give it to the second person, Rich.
I asked my mom, and she said she accepts this answer.
Okay.
It is what it is. And Show Me Mo Diggs said ink powder dryer.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
What it is.
All right, Lynn makes the rules. It's her antique. So the person's name was Show Me Mo Powder.
Show Me Mo dash Diggs.
I'm sorry. Show me Mo Diggs.
Said ink powder dryer.
Close
All
enough.
right, we did the game 20 minutes ago. Hopefully, Show Me Mo Diggs is still here. If you are, Show Me Mo. Oh, I see. Oh, and look, I already see the zip code. Show Me Mo Diggs ain't messing around. I see a zip code in there. I was still telling him what to do, and the zip code popped up. All right, congratulations, Show Me Mo. You can thank Luann, who paid it forward. What is it, Lynn? Luana. I'm sorry, Luana. So Show Me Mo, make sure you email me, quarterhoarder@yahoo.com. Oh, and you're right. NEPA History and Archaeology search said, give Luana a hat. Luana, I will. If you want a hat, I'm not paying it forward, Luana. You see how much of a pain it is. But if you want a hat, this is mine. I'll give you a new one. If you want a Quarter Hoarder hat, Luana, and Luana only, put your zip code in, and I'll mail you one. You can look just like me. It'll be twinsies.
Take it, Luana.
You have to wear two glasses, though. You have to wear two pairs of glasses.
Maybe I'll even put a pair of glasses in. That way we can we'll be like brother and sister walking down the street.
You remember
brother and brother?
Do you remember the Bob Hope movie, Call Me Luana?
Remember I told you Doug has these obscure references that no one knows? This
That's
is
the
one
name
of
of the
them.
movie?
Yeah, this is
Actually,
totally heard of this
we all
movie.
know Bob Hope.
No, it was Call Me Buana.
Iguana.
Yeah.
Buana.
Comments are pouring in, Doug, for the
Isn't that a Disney movie from
Bob Hope movie? Oh, Luana put her zip code in. She wants a hat, or at least she's being kind enough to accept it. Thank you, Luana, and thank you, Show Me Mo Dirt. Both zip codes are in. Whew, man, alive. All right, let's get back, Doug. We still got so much more show. We've been going like almost 2 hours already. Let's try to get through this, Doug. I know you got up early. If you fell asleep, Doug, and you have to go, I'll understand. Can you hear me, Doug? I think Doug locked up.
Yeah, he looks frozen.
All right, I'll see if Doug comes back. All right, let's see what we got for the next one, Rich.
What's it gonna be?
One of those last week.
Up, he's back. He's back.
Oh, now he's gone altogether.
All right, maybe he'll be there. Oh, this was yours, Rich.
I was so happy about this, although still jealous of Matt's.
Well, Matt's was phenomenal condition. Now,
yeah,
it's not in the comment, but this is a Virginia halfpenny, which is incredibly rare. I mean, it's only the second one I've seen, Doug. The first one was Matt's like 2 weeks earlier.
I wanted to find one so bad.
Yeah, now yours is kind of rough, but we can make it out. And there was a funny comment from KK because Doug was looking at it with his number 5 glasses on. And I said, Doug, you look like Monty Feldman, not realizing that the guy's name is Marty Feldman. Because I barely remember the guy, I just remember the big glasses. So Karen, called me out on it, and good for her, because I would have called her out on it, if she made such a snafu. Hold on, let me kick. I'm going to kick Doug out, Rich. And then
I would too.
Yeah, well, once he fixes himself, he can connect again. I don't know. It might not work if he's connected. But your first one ever, Rich. Did it clean up any better than that?
No,
I didn't think so. It looks pretty slick there.
No, and you know what? It's one that I was afraid to touch. I was afraid to touch it anymore because I don't want to lose what little bit you can see of the cross.
Yeah, this picture that I happened to grab the still from, you can't even really notice it. There was a slightly better angle, not much, but I mean, we were able to positively ID it, but it was rough. But heck of a good find there for you, and not even your best find of the day. Probably the 4th or 5th best find of the day, because I still have some incredible ones coming up.
And I, without saying too much, I found 2 coins that day that were only made 1 year.
Oh, I know. Rare.
Yeah.
Patrick Parker said, if you kick Doug out, who are you going to make fun of? I'm still going to mess with Doug. He's just not here to defend himself. Come on, you just meet me, Patrick? All right, let's see what we got next. Charlie, you hanging with me still?
I'm with you, buddy.
This was Joe's find. And Rich, there's something on this find that I think I missed. So I'm going to show it. Oh, in the chat, show me Mo Diggs. Ask for my, Rich put it in there. It's quarterhoarder@yahoo.com. Show me Mo. And Rachel's here. Jersey Ray Diggs just celebrated her 1,000th subscriber. Congratulations, Rachel.
Congrats.
Anyway, Joe's matron head large cent Rich. Take a look at this. We missed it in the field.
Is it Is it rotated?
No, better than that. Better than that. Get ready. Get ready for the reveal. This is the front after we cleaned it. Now, it's not on the front, but you can clearly see the date, 1818, which is an early matron head. Videlisette Moy. Man, I'm getting some rough comment names today. I'm having a hard time. She said, quarter hoarder and your destructive crew. You see what happens. We displaced so many coins and relics in the field that we caused the 4.8 magnitude earthquake. Because I thought it was kind of funny. We did pull an awful lot of things out of the ground.
Yeah.
So thank you. All right, you ready, Rich? The next slide is going to be the amazing one, making this even better than I thought. It's a shame, Joe, I don't think it's here anymore. But are you ready? Take a look at this, Charlie. Free Things USA was the first commenter to notice it. They said, hey, recheck the back of that large cent. It looks like it could be a brothel coin. The 1 cent appears to be altered. If you look at it there, it's up close. That does not say 1 cent anymore. It was altered, and I'm not going to say it or read it.
Altered it.
But that's the first brothel coin that I remember us finding, and we all missed it in the moment. Thank goodness the comments kind of. So, Charlie, can you, without bringing attention to it, it's a PG show, are you able to see what he's referring to?
Exactly. And I was on the phone with Joe today. He wants me to call him back up tomorrow, talk about a few things. I will mention that to him. Yeah. Well,
That's
give him a
definitely
timestamp of the live stream. If he wants to go back, tell him to go to the 2 hour and 2 minute mark. But no, I mean, there it is. Pretty darn amazing. I've seen guys over the years find some of the old brothel coins, but I've never seen one dug. And then the one time we do see one dug, we all missed it. You know, we all missed it. And it was clear as day. The picture is from the video. It's not like I took another picture of it. So that's what aired in the video and I missed it. And to keep a little theme with this, Rich, when I was at the Missouri hunt, a gentleman came up to me with a brothel coin that he found. And I thought it was so cool that I have some pictures of it. I want to show it to you. It's wicked cool.
They are so cool. Definitely.
Here's the one he found. And if you can't read it, it says, good for 1/2 hour with Violet at the bird cage. How wicked cool is that?
Yeah.
And how wicked nasty is Violet? But Charlie, have you ever seen such a thing?
Where's the bird cage?
The bird cage is in Arizona. I looked it up. It's in Arizona. You can see pictures of the old bird cage. It looks like a dump. It looks like a garage. But I mean, you know, if you rent Violet by the half an hour, it's probably not going to be a castle. But I wish I knew the guy's name that walked up to me and showed me this. But that's a picture of it. Good for 1/2 hour with Violet. And the Violet part was hand etched in. So the bird cage probably made tokens that said good for 1/2 hour with, left it blank at the bird cage.
At the bird
and they would just etch in whatever girl's working that week. I told Doug if he redeemed that token, he'd probably get change. I got a picture of the back too, because it was wicked cool. There's the back right there, Rich. The Birdcage Theater,
1883.
1838 Allen Street. It's in Tombstone, Arizona, Rich. Now that's a pretty famous town in Arizona. Wasn't that where all the Wyatt Earp stuff was?
I think so. And there's the Tombstone movies.
Yeah.
So whoever that guy is, not only is that thing awesome, but I bet that's probably worth a pretty penny. Not that he would sell it, but pretty darn cool there. And like I said, you know, I'm not going to make any comments on Violet, but you know, you get where it is. Yeah, I don't know where I don't know if Doug's coming back, Rachel. His thing locked up. He might be tired. He was digging all day. If he comes back, I'll let him in.
He just pretended like he froze.
Oh, he did one. He's like,
so you would kick him out.
I'm going to do that. So you kick me out, Rich. It's been 2.5 hours. Oh, I missed it, Rich. Darn it. Well, let me go back. Hold on. Did I miss it? Did I miss one? Yeah, I did. I missed a couple of them. That's okay. Whatever.
The KG with his head chopped off.
I took my eye off the prize for a second. Oh, the bandit said, is Violet living in Greenville? That token's old. If Violet is, she's about 90 years old now, and I don't know if anybody wants that half hour with her.
90.
Well, I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be nice. Scott Curry said, yeah, Rich, that's an old scratch. Hey, listen, no one likes, you know, calling Richard Nick more than we do.
I was going to say, a lot of people
there. That's an old scratch. But I mean, what a nice looking King George I outside of that scratch. The picture on the right even got a clear date out of the ground, which is not always easy to get. It looks like it's 1722 or 23, Rich. I don't remember.
I think it ended up being 22, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
One of the two. Oh, but over 300 years old. I mean, and basically a light toothbrushing. And look at that. If it didn't have that gouge going through his neck, it might be one of the best ones you've ever found.
That is my second best KG one.
Joe 9 Chutta asked if Violet was the squatter. I didn't get a good look at the squatter. She looked a little younger. You know, that token's from the 1800s. Violet would be 170 years old. But hey, you never know. All right, is Rich has the next couple finds. Is he coming back?
I do.
Oh, he's still there. I didn't see you. Okay.
Oh.
I thought you did another trip.
I was just reading the chat.
Oh, okay. All right, the next find we get into the bucket listers now, Rich. I think we got 4 bucket listers or so in a row. The first one was from Charlie here. J Diggs History 36 said he learned. Well, I guess he's ruined it, but it's a Charlie's first ever kettle point, our first ever kettle point as a group. But J Diggs History said he learned what a kettle point was from Steph Diggs. And listen, hey, Rich called Steph from the field and said to try to confirm that it was a kettle point. Did you not, Rich?
No.
I thought you contacted Steph. You didn't do that?
No, I don't have.
Bonnie, did you?
No, I just knew that it was a kettle point because I've researched them so much.
I thought maybe I thought one of us. I thought one of you guys
Charlie
contacted Steph at the moment.
Contacted her that evening.
Yeah, Charlie did.
Oh, so not in the field.
No. But I was watching a video today. There's a group. They're called Detecting Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
I didn't realize kettle points sometimes they actually twisted it into like a point, like it was twisted.
Oh, they were rolled really tightly too.
I knew that, and these guys, this Detecting Pennsylvania video, YouTube guys, they found 3 of them at their last permission.
Now they also rolled metal up like that to hang off jewelry pieces. So if it was rolled very tightly into a sharp point, it was a kettle point. But if it was just rolled tight metal, then it was often a decoration.
Well, the ones on the video were very sharp points, 3 of them, and they actually had at the end a hole drilled through the kettle point, so it would attach itself to the shaft, the wooden shaft of the arrow.
Yeah, yours is one of the coolest ones I've ever seen because of that notch. Well, usually just triangles.
Right.
Since then, I carefully flattened that. It was like curled up like that. I slowly, carefully flattened that one end there.
Yeah, I see that there's like a gouge. I was worried that if you tried to flatten it, you would you would break it, but it held up.
Yeah, I did it carefully. I know when you found your taco George Washington, but
yeah, Doug is back. It looks like he's got a different piece of technology. It's a different angle.
Yes, my phone.
But no, it didn't break off, Charlie. I'm surprised. I was a little worried about that.
The only reason why I did it because I remember you saying you did your Washington and you did it very slowly and carefully.
Well, I looked for stress cracks, and my George Washington button did not have any, but yours has that gouge. So
Yeah.
I was nervous
yeah,
but I'm glad it held up for you.
very cool. Steph said it definitely was, and I put it on ID me, and 90% of people said it was.
Oh, okay.
Kettle
Awesome.
Point. Kettle Point.
Well, that was a bucket lister, and we got a couple more, Doug, before we end this shindig. The next one is, I think, Rich's. Let's see.
I see.
I gotta come over and play because I clicked
Chat.
Doug.
A couple people are mentioning detecting PA, and they also saw that same thing I saw today about the Kettle Point being twisted.
Oh, awesome. The next one was Rich's, and similar to the Virginia halfpenny that was kind of slick. This one was surprisingly thick for the size of it, Charlie. This was a Cartwheel penny that it was massive, Charlie.
Yeah.
You can kind of see in this still the image that it's supposed to be on someone's phone that was in the corner.
When he dug that, I was not nearby. If I would have been nearby, I would have identified it right away because I was with Brad Johns when Brad Johns dug one up here in PA, my area. He found a kettle. He found a Cartwheel just like that, and I would have known right away what it was.
Well, we ID'd it pretty quickly. Well, I assumed what it was pretty quickly.
Yeah, you ID'd it.
Yeah, I mean, I assumed what it was within seconds, but it was so slick. This little bit was from strategically angled side light to even get that little silhouette. If you looked at it straight on, it looked like it was slick. And there was a good reason. I got the next clip. Doug is gone again.
Oh.
Let me bring him back again. He keeps, I don't know what he's going on. I keep losing him. The next one, Rich, is pretty interesting. D-Technician basically said, he lives overseas and, wait, maybe this isn't the right one. Oh, he said, no. I think I even put the wrong comment in the wrong section. It might be the next one, but there's a picture of it next to a US large cent. So you can see just how gigantic the thing was. And
I found it, and I've heard of Cartwheel pennies, but I didn't really think about the fact that they were huge.
And the one you dug,
I
Rich,
didn't know what it was. It just seemed like a blank.
Yeah, it was enormous.
Yeah.
The one you dug was a 1 cent Cartwheel penny. Apparently, there's also a 2 cent Cartwheel penny, which is twice as big as the one you found.
No, I found the big one.
Oh, you think you found the big one?
That is the big one. Yes.
See, I don't know. I mean, well, maybe you're right. It is twice the size of a large cent, so maybe that is.
There's two that are that size, and then there's one that's smaller.
You knocked you out, or you did it?
No.
Hold on, Doug is there, but I don't. Kathy, Doug is on. I don't know why he thinks he's not.
Well, I'm on.
I'm going to remove him because they're like talking about stuff. Let me wait for them to. All right, the next one is. I don't know what they're doing. Here's the one I was talking about, Rich. This is from Kernowek Tim, and it's kind of long, but he's basically saying the trouble with the Cartwheel pennies is that they're very soft.
Yeah.
So even in the mildest soil, they fade out and wear down.
I did read that one. Yes.
Yeah, and he said he found plenty of them over there, and that's how he was able to tell if someone, I hate to accuse anybody of planting something, but you can tell if it's a plant because if someone pulls a Cartwheel penny out and it does have good detail, at least he's suggesting that that's probably not an authentic find because they wear down so quickly. Now, this is the only one I've ever seen, and yours is in terrible shape. Apparently, he's saying justifiably it should be. But you can see it in that picture there. You can see the rim, you know, the bust. I mean, it's a definite ID. It's just a matter of, I don't know if someone found a great one. You know, I wouldn't call them out on it. That's for sure.
Now, Jason,
Not
Jason,
over here. I mean,
the one that I was with that time found was in really good condition, but wasn't in the farm field. Was closer to a building where they didn't fertilize. It was in pretty good condition.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
This is the only one I've ever seen. So I don't know. This is my only reference. I just knew that the cartwheels were giant. And, you know, when Rich called me over and he had this Frisbee size copper disc, you know, that's just where my mind jumped to.
Right.
I came up with a good idea for the picture for the video. It was me holding up a dinner plate. I could have borrowed a pewter plate from my mom, but Charlie found better stuff than all of us that day. So
yeah, I mean, I think you even found something better. I think the next one, I don't know, it's going to be close, but this was an amazing find. Let me see. There's a few more. It's just what a day it was. There's a picture of Joe with it, and I just put it down so you can see the front and the back. You know, your reverse side was totally gone, but that's what it would look like. All the Cartwheel pennies were dated 1797. From what I'm hearing from some of the European guys is that they made the coin 2 or 3 years, but they were all dated 1797, even though they were made over a span. I don't really know a ton about it, but I know that they were all dated 1797. Pretty impressive, huh, Doug? And welcome back.
Yeah, why'd you knock me out?
I hid you because you and Kathy were like talking and trying to figure something out. So I didn't know how to mute you. I just knocked you out until you were situated.
Well, I went to do what Rich did earlier, and when I came back, I was gone.
Oh, well, I didn't even notice. Your whole thing froze, and then when it unfroze, you weren't there. So I said, well, let me just kick him out and have him come back in.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not sure what happened.
Okay.
All right, let's move on, Doug. This is the longest one ever. Look at this thing. I'm going to let this play through because we got to get this show on. But look at that incredible snake buckle. I mean, now this guy, Eric Malmstrom, said, they've been using the snake buckle since medieval times, all continents. I assumed it was Civil War. He was indicating that, maybe it could be Rev War, maybe anything. Who knows? I just thought it was wicked, cool, awesome. There's a picture here where you can see how it was worn. That's a Confederate soldier. Again, maybe it's older. I don't know. What's that?
I was not expecting that, and there's a lot of different versions of those, and that one's probably my favorite. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And not a ton of Civil War era stuff at this place. Doug did find that the Dix token, if anyone desecrates the flag, shoot him on the spot. Yeah. Rich actually found another of that exact same token, but Rich's was really toasty. I couldn't film it. So there were a few pieces. The majority of the pieces were much older, but that thing is wicked, wicked cool. I texted Riley Bryan, a friend of mine who's like a Civil War expert, to kind of confirm if it was Confederate. He couldn't confirm for the same reason, because they were used, for quite a while. But I guess it's possible. That's a Confederate soldier right there in the picture, and he's got one on. And then I think I have a picture of you holding it a little bit cleaner, brushed off. I mean, look at the scales on that thing, the top of his head, fantastic shape. So that was wicked cool. Some people in the comments, Rich, said that was the best find of the day, even though there's 2 pieces of gold coming up. So, I mean, that's pretty darn special.
I love it. I might trade that for Charlie's ring, but
I don't know if that'll be a mutually accepted trade.
Speaking of that ring,
Charlie,
did you have that thing appraised yet?
Doug, wait till I get to the ring picture, and then we'll talk about the ring.
Oh,
it's coming up.
Okay. Okay.
Let me see. After this one this was my find of the day. I only got 2 things really all day, Doug. I'm going to play some of these through. That's how I found it in the ground. When I saw it, I instantly put a dirt bomb on it and called everybody over because I thought it was going to be a silver ring, and I was stoked for a silver ring. But that's what I saw. That's what I saw when I picked the clump up. That's when I pushed the dirt out. And then that's after Joe sprayed it. And I thought it was a silver ring. Joe instantly, when I handed it to him, said he thought it was white gold because of the weight. And then I saw the marking in there, 14K. I kind of forget that white gold is a thing. To me, that looks silver. Now, I forgot that when I swung over it, the number was really low, like much lower than silver. But in the moment you forget, you're just digging everything, But Joe instantly, just from the weight, said, I think it's going to be white gold. And he was right. Now this ring, bring the field to its knees was a comment part of the buildup I used in the beginning of the video. I like catchy buildups because we brought this field to its knees. Barber Bob Detecting said the 14 karat gold ring looked relatively new, and he's kind of right. Then the next one, Chad Burrod said the maker's mark is Frederick Goldman, which he's right. He said New York. The one I looked it up, it was made by Fredericks in somewhere down in Texas, and I think the ring's like from the 1950s. So it's not super new, but it's not super old like Charlie's, but still super, super, super cool. This is another picture of it. Just says it was. This guy said his mom's wedding ring was white gold, and he never appreciated it because it wasn't yellow. But now he's starting to understand. Look how nice that's sprayed down too, Dougie. It almost looks like it's chrome plated, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's gold though.
Oh yeah.
Jason, I don't know if I ever told you this, but a white gold ring is actually big on my bucket list because my favorite book series has to do with a white gold ring.
Nancy Drew?
By chance.
What's it called?
What's the book series called?
Yeah.
It's called
Nancy Drew, Keeper of the White Gold Ring.
It's called it's Covenant, the Chronicles of Thomas Covenant the Unbeliever.
Okay. Is that by Stephen Donaldson?
It is very good.
Yeah, I'm a book collector. I was trying to remember. It's a 2-part set. It's a 2-part. It's a 2-book set.
It's like, well, now it's like 10 or 11 books.
Well, I'm saying the original first book was 2 books. That make up and then there was more in the series. I think I even have them on one of my bookshelves behind me.
Incredible. If anybody,
it's from like the early 1980s.
It's an incredible series.
There's a picture of Charlie excited about my ring along with his, which will be in the next picture here. As I was in Joe's hand, Charlie laid his ring next to it, which we're going to get into now, Dougie, because Cape Cod Diggers Metal Detect and some numbers said definitely Rich had a cartwheel, but the 2 gold rings were insane. And as nice as mine was, Rich, Charlie's was phenomenal. Let's bring it up, Doug, because this may be the find of Charlie. Was it your best find ever, do you think?
I think it is. Yes, I think especially since I've been told to get it looked at because of the ruby, might be a Burmese ruby in it.
Oh my goodness. Let's take a look. I'm going to go through and then I'll pause it when it gets to the actual piece. When I looked up, I heard Charlie call me. He was dancing in the field. This is like a little still of Charlie dancing.
It's called the gold dance.
Yeah. I walked over. That's the look. I mean, Charlie was like a giddy schoolgirl. Joe's praying to Jesus. I mean, they all got a good look at it before Doug and I got there. I picked it up and that's what I saw. I mean, I knew it was a gold ring, but I had no idea just how nice it was going to be. This is Charlie looking at it before we pop the dirt out, and you can see the beginnings of some sort of a stone in the top. I mean, we were probably staring at this thing for a half an hour. I mean, it's just amazing.
Jason, do you remember exactly what you said to me later on in that day? I thought it was hilarious, but
I don't remember.
When you were like, you know, I've only found 2 gold rings in my life, and I was really happy about this one, but it wasn't even the best gold ring we found today.
Oh, when I found my gold ring.
Yeah, like you're psyched about it, but it wasn't even the best find of the day.
Yeah, like how, you know, I've only found 2 gold rings ever. And when I found my gold ring, Charlie, it wasn't even the best gold ring of the day. Like, how crazy is that?
What a day.
But let me show it, Rich. I mean, how that was after he knocked the dirt out. We all noticed the etching marks on it at the same time, or whatever you want to call it, engraving marks on it. User, a bunch of letters, said that gold ring's got to be the best find ever. There was a ton of comments like that. I mean, there it is, as Rich is spraying it. There's a nice still of the spray coming out, Rich, bouncing off Charlie's finger and the top of that ruby stone. Incredible treasure, Charlie. It's stunning. I feel sad for the person who lost it 200 years ago. That was the comment from Divine Painter, who is Angela, the woman's house that we dug 2 weeks ago.
And Charlie, you got to let us all know when you find out exactly what that ring is.
Hey, Charlie, try to get that done before another 250 years.
I was at the place yesterday. Had conversation with the fellow. It needs to be sent out. And they will be able to tell what mine that ruby came from.
Oh, they can tell the mine it came from?
They will be able to tell because they're so rare, and they know by the color of the ruby where it will originate from.
If I were you, I'd get another opinion.
I think it's incredible. I mean, just to have it insured, Charlie. But I mean, that's a museum. Pete, look at that stone. I got some better pictures, but the side angle is the engraving where you can kind of see some of the etch works. I love the deep yellowish color that it has to my eyes. Like it just looks, it looks like old gold. You know what I mean? It doesn't look, I don't know. It was amazing.
And even if that turns out to be red glass, not a ruby, the recipe for making red glass, it was a big secret. It had been lost several times, and only 1 or 2 families back in the day could make red glass.
It had gold in it.
Yeah. Wow. So it could be special either way.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to have the tone, the stone. The ring is amazing on its own, but the stone may or may not make it incredibly valuable. But the ring itself, just crazy. You know, there's a picture of the side. You can see more of the engraving marks that look hand done to me. You can see the hallmark. It looks like it says 4K. Rich had thought that maybe it said 14K, but the 1 maybe didn't get stamped in well enough. Yeah. I also had people say that there used to be a 4K gold that they sold. I really don't know much about gold. I had a lot of people comment that in 1906 is when the law passed that gold had to be stamped with the purity. But before that, it was optional. And if you made a piece of gold before that, you probably would opt to stamp it to prove it. It just wasn't required until 1906. So the fact that there's a hallmark stamping doesn't necessarily date it post 1906. So I don't really know when it's from.
I feel like the people who are making very quality gold items would have stamped it.
I agree. Yeah, like if you were proud of your work, you want to stamp it even before it was mandatory.
Right.
Now, whether I don't even know if it's 4K gold or not, I'd like to think that because of that dark, rich color, that it's a better a better carat than just a better percent than just 4, but it's probably 14, and the hallmark just didn't get stamped properly, I'm guessing.
Like you said, I don't know that much about gold, but I think 4K might not still look that good after all these years. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, could it even be 24K and maybe the 2 didn't get stamped in because there's only like a dot of that number. I mean, it just looks so
like
rich in color. I don't know.
Well, I will take Doug's advice. Before I send it out anywhere, I will have it insured.
Oh, absolutely. Don't let that out of your hand without insurance on it.
No.
The next picture is the best picture I got of the faceted stone. I mean, look at that stone, Lynn. A bunch of people said that they thought it could be a Burmese ruby ring. I don't know how you would tell. You'd have to get it. You have to be a jeweler. You have to get under a light. The Burmese rings, I heard that they tell by how deep the red color is in there. You'd probably really have to know what you're doing or have a special machine to measure that. So I have no clue. I can't even see red. So what the heck do I know?
I have watched a lot of shows, ruby mining shows, other mining shows like that, and the pink is a big clue.
Yeah.
When it's not just red, the pink has a lot to do with it.
It's very pink.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I mean, what a great ring. And then I did a little 3-way picture, I think, next. They'll just kind of hit it from all angles. Julie Mikalak. Oh my God, that ring is beautiful. That kind of sums it up. I mean, when he got that ring, I mean, you saw the stuff we found: Virginia halfpenny, the snake buckle, my gold ring, the cartwheel penny, you know, the brothel token. But this, I think, beats it all, because back then that person spent a lot of money on it, hand worked, incredible stone, just gorgeous. And you know, we don't detect for monetary reasons by any means, but when you do find something that is valuable, you can't help but get a little excited over it. So what a heck of a find there from Charlie. Charlie, where is that ring at this second?
It's safe, I hope.
Yeah, it's in a safe.
It's in my relic room. But you know what surprised me? Where I found that ring, we already detected. We were walking to a new location in the field.
Yeah.
I remember the first thing you said to me, Charlie, when I got over there was, "This sounded absolutely terrible." You said this was a terrible signal.
I almost did not dig that signal. It was jumpy. It was low. I'll tell you what.
I can't take my eyes off looking at the pictures, Charlie. It looks amazing. And yeah, look, Brandon Jack in the comment, Charlie's been on fire. I mean, he has. I mean, the Roman coin, the hammered silver, the fireman button, this incredible ring. I mean, it's like that field owes him money, Lynn. That's what I've been saying. It's like the field owes him money.
Well, I think he needs a timeout now.
Well, I think the next comment was pretty funny, because I always tell him he needs a timeout. But Stuck in Trees said, "Go tell Charlie to sit in the car and think about what he's done."
Yeah.
And
it's great.
Yeah, you know what? I usually sit in the car and take a nap.
Yeah.
Well, Charlie's right. Usually when we go hunting all day, Charlie always goes back to the car and takes like an hour nap or so. But when he found this ring, and for like the next 3 trips after, there was no napping. There was no breaks. Like he was, you know, he was riding high on this incredible find. So it was pretty darn amazing. I mean, what a great find, Charlie.
Yes, thank
Could
you.
be find of the year. We'll see. Maybe it'll get beat, but man, that's impressive.
Is that 3 pieces of gold from there?
Might even be more. I mean, I got one. You got the stick pin.
Yeah.
Charlie got one. Was there more gold, Doug, that I'm not thinking of that was at least shown so far?
I don't think so. I think that was it.
All right.
Yeah, but 3 in a farm field.
Yeah, and 2 rings in a farm field.
Yeah.
Well, I think the fact that we had concluded early on that we had to dig the low signals because of the buttons we were getting. We just kind of dug everything, and Charlie was the fortunate one that swung over it and remembered what we said. Dig it all.
Yeah,
And
this
look what he got rewarded with.
You sure do. Yeah, he really got rewarded. That faceted stone on the right is just beautiful.
The very first day, Rich told me to dig low signals. I don't know if Rich remembers that. I got out of my truck, walked over to the site, and Rich said, "Dig low signals
and
go
slower than you think you can go."
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, you killed a Charlie this day. I mean, that thing is a museum quality piece if I ever saw one.
Thank you.
Just when I put the pictures together, I couldn't take my eyes off of it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just that stunning. So, way to go.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Let me go through. I think there's just like 3 or 4 more pictures, Doug, and then we're done. It's going really late.
Okay.
This was my second and only find of the day, but I thought it was kind of cool. It was at the end of the day. We were walking back to the car. I got that copper spike. The technician said that could it be the top of a tinsmith soldering iron? Is there any iron on the fat end? I'm gonna have to look and see. I don't know, Lynn. Could it be a tinsmith thing, Lynn? It's copper and it's big and thick.
I know what they're talking about, but no, I think that's a spike.
Just a spike, but a copper spike.
It's definitely handmade, but probably meant to be outside so it didn't rust.
I thought it was cool nonetheless.
It's neat. It's early.
Very neat.
But I put that in, and then we're gonna finish it up, Doug. If you remember, it got so foggy when we rolled in that Charlie, you had left already. It got so foggy. I said, guys, let's take a picture. And that's the crazy eyes face I get from Doug and Rich on the picture.
So real quick, Jason, I remember, and Doug, correct me if I'm wrong, but we did one picture first that was a good one. Then we did a funny one. Did Jason keep our funny faces and put a good face on him?
Yes, that's exactly what I did.
Yes.
Yeah.
He does that all the time.
Yeah, come on. Listen, Rich, the guy that does the editing does whatever he wants.
This should not be a revelation.
I like the Doug and Rich have the crazy eyes killer face because I just thought it looked cool. Like Doug has that devilish grin. Rich looks like he's like going to slit his throat.
And you're trying to look normal?
I'm trying to look normal. That's as normal as I can look.
Yeah.
But I only put the picture in the wrap up because I put this picture on Facebook, and I don't know who it was, Doug, but somebody manipulated this picture.
Oh, okay.
And I put it up next. Charlie, I want to see if you can figure out.
Wait a minute.
Charlie, see if you can figure out what it is that they manipulated. All right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Here it comes. Try to figure. It's subtle. It's subtle.
Oh my God. Oh, let's see. I'm trying to figure out what's different here.
Anybody in the chat? Anybody in the chat?
I don't remember who did it, Doug, or I'd give him credit.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
They put my goatee on Rich. They put Rich's beard and mustache on Doug. And I think I have Doug's whole bottom face, like his teeth, his mustache, everything.
Oh my gosh.
So now who looks the most disturbing? I mean, we all look pretty bad. Who's the most disturbing individual in that picture, Charlie?
Doug.
I think it might be Doug.
Of course.
I think Rich looks the most normal.
I look like I'm on Swamp People.
I look just bizarre. I don't know what it is. Like
that is the cheesiest mustache I've ever seen.
Doug, it's the exact. Your mustache just moved.
I know, but it looks cheesy on you.
So I thought that was great. I wish I knew who did it. I would give him a shout out. Oh look, Louisiana Mud Dog said Doug looks better. So Doug, maybe you should consider growing that out.
Yeah.
Dangus Swartberger said Doug looks like a biker dude. That's cool, Doug.
Silver King Vince says Jay looks like Captain Kangaroo.
I do.
He
look like
does.
Captain Kangaroo.
Rich, you look like the grease monkey guy that sells cars.
Ugh. That's just so funny. It's funny. Just moving the facial hair around makes us look like three psychopaths.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm glad I left.
Yeah, you would have been. I don't know what they would have did with you. That would have been crazy. So I think that was it, Doug. Let me just make sure. I think it just fades back to the thumbnail. Yeah, that was it. Struck gold. I mean, what an incredible day it was. 2 pieces of gold. You guys saw it all. The cartwheel penny, the snake buckle, the brothel coin. I mean, so many and amazing things. This show went really long because I knew there was going to be so much stuff. So what do you think, Doug? That was just one of many, many trips to this field. Greatest field ever, Doug? What do you think?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I just wish that it wouldn't end.
That's the saddest part.
It is. I mean, I'm going to actually be going over there tomorrow, but I know I think we've gotten all the real special stuff out of there, but what a place. I look like Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, we still have like, I think I have like 3 videos left, and we got good stuff that was missed, that we did areas that we hit, some really good stuff. But like I said, I think, when we first got on there, being a virgin field, I mean, some of these things were right on the surface, easy target.
3 inches, 2 inches. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. And now there's probably still stuff there, but you got to work for it now. Like when we first got on, it was like, shooting fish in a barrel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, and he's probably getting ready to plant if he didn't already. The farmer's pretty nice. He'd probably let us hunt until it got so high, but we might be done with it until the winter. I mean, Doug's going back with a couple buddies. I don't know if any of us are going, but maybe in the winter again, we'll hit it again. If we can get him to disc it or plow it or something, that would be phenomenal. But
Charlie's going to drive his tractor over and give it a deep plow.
Yeah, if he would let us. So, yeah, Doug, it's really late. It's almost 2 hours and 45 minutes. I want to kind of wrap it up. I just want to say a couple of hellos to some people that have been with us the whole darn night. Andrew T is in there.
Big number?
What was that?
What was our big number today?
Your big number of what?
The number of fellow chatters.
Oh,
I
can't see it.
It was over 350.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure
I can't see that on mine.
Not sure that we hit 4 tonight, but it was over 350.
Yeah, I didn't announce who the special guest was because I like surprises.
Right.
Maybe if you announce the special guest, maybe someone would come in. But I like to save things for the true people that support us all the time.
Right. And that's how we run our hunts. Very spontaneous. We base our banter on what we find and go off on tangents. So that's how we like to present the show. Very spontaneous.
Yeah. I'm going to give a couple of last shout outs, Doug, and then we're going to do some final words, or I know you don't like final words, whatever phrase you want to use. Gordon McCall, thank you. Great show. Michael Sacamando, thank you, sir. Crazy Diggins, Scott Curry, Wendy Olson, KK Karen is here. Adrian Tucker didn't win tonight. What, Doug?
Peg Leggin Detecting.
Oh, Peg Leg Detective's there. We hunted with him at the Show Me Hunt. He was there. Great dude. Denise Hoult, Chris O'Brien, Central Pennsylvania Adventures, Danny Coco, Hot Mess Fishing again, hung with us all night. Alicia, super cool.
Yes,
I might see if Alicia wants to pop on next week. We're going to try to have a bunch of the people from the Show Me Hunt pop in for 5-10 minutes. Ken Hurst, of course, who I showed, gave me the Bette Midler book. Diana Reed, Show Me Mo Diggs, who won one of the prizes tonight. Sue Ramsey, NEPA, History and Archaeology Search, Workman's Adventures, Carol W, Jake K, Richard B, PA Diggy Dude, a bunch of letters, FSD, FF, I'm not sure what that is. Mark Hoffman,
good night.
Sessa Quizapix, I'm not sure. Trish Harrison, Cassidy's Adventures. Oh, that's Dustin, Doug. The Dustin that dug all your holes for you. Cassidy's Adventures. Prairie Pirate, Margaret Furjet. FLX Detectorist, who won the Nokta Pinpointer. Clem Fandango again. And, of course, Turd Ferguson, who are in New Hampshire. Oh, Ken Hurst said Carol Rio. Maybe Carol is logged under Ken's account tonight. But thank you, everybody. Doug, final words on the night. I am so sleepy. I'll give you first honor, sir.
Yeah. No, there's not much to add, but it was a great show, and it was nice having Gypsy pop in, even though she was unfamiliar with the hour time difference. But we'll get her straightened out on that.
No, she's
and
good.
where are we going?
What's that?
We're going to go see Charlie this week.
Yeah, we're going to go out to Charlie's this week. Should be a good hunt out there. It looks promising. Rich looked up the lidars. I see some interesting looking old squares in the ground. So fingers crossed.
It looks interesting for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
Charlie, any final words on the day before we get out of here?
Well, I've had a remarkable journey being with you guys at that Cobb field. It's been really special to me, and I will never forget this adventure with you guys. Seriously.
Hey, Charlie, you never know when you're going to hit another Cobb field. That's why we keep going out. We seem to get one or two incredible fields every year. This one might have been the best, but who knows? Maybe the next one's even better. You never know.
We've had some great permissions throughout the 4 years that I've been with you guys, and this was incredible.
Yeah,
if we find a property better than that, we ought to all go in together and purchase it, because I don't know that we're going to get, how much better can you get?
Right.
Charlie can sell the ring and purchase it on his own.
Yeah.
Lynn, do you have any last words before we get out of here?
Just congrats on all the great finds. I wasn't able to go on that day, so I'm really glad to see it through the videos.
Oh, you missed a good day, Lynn.
I know. Well, you called me on the way home that day because you were so excited.
I was.
So it was great, and I'm looking forward to Saturday, and hopefully, I know it's hard to go to a new place and because we compare everything to the Cobb field, but onward.
Everything, almost everything we can continue in our heads, just not those real low tones. Like I don't know that I'm going to be digging 12s now very often.
Yeah, it's the one bad thing about the field is that we're all going to be a little ruined for a while because, we got to make the transition back to houses soon where you find, barbers and mercury dimes. And I'm not complaining. I love that stuff. And we find interesting Victorian treasures, but to be pulling all the 1600 stuff out of the ground and gold and, to go back where we're probably not going to find any of that again until the next farm season. You gotta readjust. You know what I mean?
Rein it in.
Yeah, you got to readjust. But hey, I love finding all the stuff. I love the houses because we get such an eclectic mixture of stuff, which makes for fun videos, not just copper coins the whole video. I like the selection. So I'm looking forward to what the summer's going to bring.
Warmer weather, I hope.
What's that, Dougie?
Warmer weather, I hope.
Well, it's going to be too warm soon. We're going to be complaining it's too hot. You watch and see.
Okay.
Real quick question from the chat.
Okay.
Jason, how many videos including what hasn't come out yet, how many videos did we get from the Cobb field?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, I think there's 3 or 4 more. I think it'll wind up being about maybe 15. I'm going to put them together in a playlist.
Yeah.
That way, someone, if they wanted, can watch
Wow.
all of them, a year from now, because it was just such a magical location. I don't know the exact number. A lot of the days we went and we found so much stuff that one day I had to cut up into 2 or 3 videos. So I'm not sure how many videos it was. It's just that unlike the live stream that's almost 3 hours long now, I don't like the videos getting past 30 minutes.
Right.
So if we went out with 5 of us and we found great things, and after I edit all the clips, it's an hour and 15 minutes. Well, that's got to be 2.5 videos worth of stuff. And so I don't know how many I made it. It was exceptional though, and there will be a playlist put together, probably by the end of this weekend. And I did see our last moderator, Teresa, the treasure hunter, who made it late. Thank you, Teresa. I think she's going to England with our other moderator, Joe Setti, pretty soon.
She's going KK.
Is Joe Setti going also?
No, just KK and Teresa together.
Okay. Well, I think they're going maybe next weekend. So if I don't talk to them, Teresa, good luck. I hope you guys find some old hammered gold over there.
Mm.
All right, Doug, I think we're going to wrap this up. I'm tired. Don't forget, next Thursday night, we're going to do another live stream that's just going to be all about the Missouri hunt. If Charlie and Rich want to come on, they're welcome to. They won't be able to add a whole lot, but if they want to just have their beautiful faces up there, I think Lynn's going to be going to an event. I don't remember, but we're gonna ride it home, Doug. I'm going to try to get a bunch of people to come on, and it should be fun. So an extra live show next week. I'm going to reach out to my Missouri friends, try to get them to come on, some of the vendors, some of the attendees, some of the different people that were there. It should be pretty fun because that event was phenomenal.
Hot Mess Fishing wants to be there, so
she will get an invite. We will have her pop on. Ken Hurst, all the people. They came from all 4 corners of the country, and it was phenomenal. But
it was a great show.
I'm going to invite the Squatter to come on too. Maybe special guest, the Squatter.
You think you could guess her, Charlie?
She might not have internet access in that basement. I'm not sure.
That's right. She only has hot water every now and then.
Yeah. When there's a guest upstairs. All right, Doug, I'm out of here. I'm super tired. I gotta keep my eyes open. So
good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thanks for watching. Happy hunting, and we will see you on the next one.
See you later.
Later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.